Fresh tip off. Easy to drink.
Let's get nasty here on a Thursday afternoon. Jamie Rivers, Carey Davis, Andrew Marsh. We are at Helen Fitzgerald's today, broadcasting the entire show. It's our tournament tip-off party brought to you by Bud Light. I mean, who else would bring that to you, Carey?
Nobody.
Nobody. We are getting settled in here, so pardon us if we have different volumes and all sorts of craziness.
Check. Yeah, I can barely hear myself.
We just took over from BK and Ferrari, and they screw everything up all the time. God love them. But, all right, boys, we're here. It is March Madness is upon us. And if you have a chance and you're listening, come on by Helen Fitzgerald's. The place is hopping. People everywhere. Staff's doing an incredible job. Great food. All the TVs have different games on. Got a little bit of a buzz in the air, don't it, boys?
Oh, it feels good. It's, the first day of the tournament. Why wouldn't you want to be here? This is the best time of the year. I know people have their opinions. Anthony likes.
You hate Christmas?
Well,
I thought that was the most wonderful time of the year.
Well, here's the thing, man. You got all day for sports. There is not another day where you can wake up at 8, 9, 10 o'clock in the morning and just have sports all day long. It's a multitude of games. You pick your horse, find which team you want to win. If you got a team, like I got my team not playing till tomorrow, ILL, say it, Jamie, I-N-I, okay, thank you. And we are going – God. We just started the dang on show, man.
Well, you just started.
Marshy got on a Missouri shirt. You didn't go to Missouri.
Yeah, I bought this shirt,
Why would
though.
you wear that shirt?
I spent money on it.
You couldn't spend money on an Illinois shirt?
I have no ties to Illinois.
Oh, my goodness.
I never went to Illinois to watch a football game.
Oh, that's your fault. That's your fault. You know what? You're invited next year.
Well, thank you.
You're invited.
Oh,
you're invited next year.
We'll see.
You all want to come?
If I'm not on the sidelines, you don't have as much pull as I thought. All right, so, yeah, it is a great day here with lots of basketball action. Carey, you talked about sports all day. How about the Blues tonight, too?
Yeah.
We got basketball action all day long. There will be basketball through the night, but boy, oh boy, this game tonight for the Blues is massive. Marshy, I know you're a guy. You get excited about certain games.
I do. I really do.
I'm wondering, where is your excitement meter at today with this one for the Blues?
Out of 10, it has to be at an 11 right now. To me, this is the biggest game thus far in the season. And, we talked about it yesterday. Carey, you always joke about,
the most important game of the year?
Most important week and most important game. This literally, up until this point, is the most important game of the season based on the point swing that you could have on the Vancouver Canucks. To me, it's one of the, if not the biggest game so far this year. And I'm excited for it. I have a lot of belief in the Blues tonight. I really do.
Where are you watching the game tonight, Marshy? Because I love to live my life sometimes through watching and listening to what Marshy does for these big events.
I'll just be at Rachel's house. Nothing too crazy. I like listening to the broadcast. Now, you won't be on the broadcast tonight.
I feel like you're going to get robbed of that.
I think I will. It's a ESPN Plus game.
You'll get Ray Ferraro. I mean, he's fine.
Yeah, he's fine. I do like listening to the broadcast. I like, if it's a really important game, I'll do that. Unless it's like the playoffs, like the Stanley Cup, maybe I'll go to a bar or something. But, we got Mizzou and the Blues going on at the same time, so we'll be dialed in for that at home on the couch.
What time does Mizzou play?
What is it, 6:30?
Yeah, so it's the same time.
Thing. So here's a question I always ask Anthony, because at Anthony's house, there's the TV and then there's the iPad that he watches something. What's going to be on the TV and what will be on the iPad?
Yeah, TV, I know the answer to this, but go ahead. I can answer for you.
Well,
Or do you have several TVs? Do you have a sports bar in your home, Marshy?
At my house, yes, but at Rachel's, what's easier is to bring up the Mizzou game on the TV and have the Blues game on my phone based on the apps that are on the TV.
Got you.
Now, if it was up to me, we split screen it. I don't know how you can do that on different apps.
I feel like maybe Rachel should go to your house to watch this game. If you have the better setup. I mean, you're still kind of in your birthday window.
Yeah, you are.
I am. It's my birthday month, right?
Hey, there you go. You still get what you want when you want it.
Right.
That's how that works.
Well, let's have Let's have Dodie get Rachel online, too. Dodie, get Rachel online, too, please. Okay, thank you. We'll talk to her. We'll straighten her out a little bit.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, how was your birthday night?
It was awesome.
Was
yeah.
it?
Got some Italian food, had some chocolate cake for dessert.
Nice. Is that your favorite kind of cake?
No, my favorite kind of cake is peanut butter cake. It's like my mom makes it every year for my family. Whoever has a birthday, she'll make it. And yeah, I've never had it anywhere else, but she makes it. And I had some when she's on a cruise right now, so we celebrated my birthday a couple weeks ago, and had the peanut butter cake. And
it was like a Reese's peanut butter cake? Is that what it tastes like?
No, I don't know how to explain it without having it. So maybe I'll have her make one and
bring it in.
Yeah,
and we'll
for your birthday.
There you go.
We'll wait till she gets back from the cruise. But
I like that. Carey, what's your favorite kind of cake?
Gooey butter cake.
Gooey butter cake.
Gooey butter cake, man.
That is good.
Oh, if you've never had it, shame on you.
I've had it.
Oh, it's
Who said I didn't have it?
I said if you never had it.
I just accused me of never had it.
I said if you've never had it, then shame on you. I didn't say you. What's going on, man? You okay?
Why touch
that better?
Well, I like a marble cake.
Okay.
And Ashley made me one for my birthday. It was unreal. She did the double decker with the chocolate icing in the middle too, and on top. How
many days did it take for you to finish it?
Well, I don't really eat cake.
Yeah.
So I'm not a pastry type guy.
Okay.
I hammered down 2 massive pieces of that thing, though. I left with a bellyache. It was
felt
fantastic.
good, though.
So anyway, the Blues tonight and the Vancouver Canucks pregame will start here on 101 ESPN at 5:30. So we will be off early tonight, and then the puck drop at 6:30-ish at Enterprise Center. Guys, or Marshall, you in particular, what do you need to see from the Blues here tonight?
Other than a win?
Well, yeah, the win, but the win is a result, right?
Right. Honestly, what they've been doing, what they have been doing, I need to see face-off wins. I need to see the power play come alive once again. I just need to see hard-nosed hockey because I think that type of brand will play itself into a win tonight. I don't think, and I know Rick Tocchet is the head coach for Vancouver and he's a hard-nosed guy. I don't know if that team is necessarily built the way that a playoff team should be built.
I would agree. We got a lot of soft guys on that team.
Yes, and I think the Blues can bully them around the way they've been playing. I think they just need to stick to what they've been doing. To me, it's that simple.
Carey, is there anything you want to see?
No, I agree. I think just continuing to play hard, play for one another. The things that have changed since the Four Nations face-off or maybe since February hit, the things that caused that has changed in this team, the mindset, the work ethic, and playing a full 60 minutes. We talked about your keys to the game are often start the game off fast and finish it and do all of the things that you need to do. Back check, forward check, and just play sound defense.
Start fast, finish hard.
There you go. That's the best way to go.
It is.
It is. If you can finish, you need to finish.
Finish hard.
Finish hard.
Yep.
We got a text from the 314. You guys do realize if the Flames win tonight, the Blues still are not in the playoffs, or are you blind to the facts?
Listen, whoever that is can just go fly a kite. Okay, we don't need your attitude today, honestly, at all. We're in a good spot here. March Madness has started. This is a lot of fun today. The Blues play tonight, big game. Take your Flames and just shove off. Okay? Don't worry about the Flames some other
That's not the point of how important tonight's game is.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Marshall, don't let them rent
some
space
people,
in your world.
Yeah,
right
some people
now.
want to rain on your parade. Don't let them. But don't worry about
They
it.
don't want to just rent. They want to pee on it, too.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's no good.
It's awful.
We don't like that. Well, for me tonight, the Blues, as much as I think this is the most important game of the season, it's not a win-all, be-all game because you do have some runway after that. But it is a really big game if you want to try and stay ahead of some of these teams. So the Calgary Flames tonight, that's another team that's in the hunt. The Utah Hockey Club are nipping at heels as well. The bottom line is, boys, you just have to keep getting points. Keep getting points, game in and game out. The Blues are 9-2-2 since the break, which is phenomenal. The record is fantastic.
It is.
Just got to keep your foot on the gas, keep going, keep playing that Blues-style hockey. Jordan Binnington will be well rested tonight. Joe Hofer got that big win in Nashville, so Binner's going to be well rested tonight, able to hopefully perform at the top of his capabilities.
Yeah.
And the rest of the team just has to keep going. And what's funny is this team right now, the way they're carrying themselves, you'd think they were first in the NHL.
Yeah. Well, pretty much since the Four Nations face-off,
Right.
they have been.
I think they have been.
That's
Yeah.
Them and the Montreal
mindset.
Canadiens
That's
have been
the
two best
That's
teams.
the mindset that they've had. We are the best team. everything that happened prior to this doesn't matter because how we came out after that break, I don't know what the hell happened. I don't know how much
Did
rest
they all
was
go
in.
in a darkness
I don't
retreat?
know.
Did they do
that?
that?
Did they?
We
I don't
didn't
know.
ask Monty. We should have asked.
Asked them. Was there something that took place? Since that Four Nations, they just came back and said, fast lane it. We're going to be the best team in hockey. We're going to play well. We're going to play hard, and we're going to do the things that it takes to win games. And they've been doing a great job.
That's Kerry Davis, Andrew Marsh with you as well. Jamie Rivers here. Again, we are down at Helen Fitzgerald's. We're watching basketball. We're eating chicken wings and wraps and fries. And everybody around us having nice cold beverages. Wish I was them. But either way, come on down here. Check it out. All this brought to you by Bud Light, of course. We're going to get into spring training next for the Cardinals. And what is the point of having spring training? We've got some interesting answers on that one next here on 101 ESPN.
It's time for another. Report on 101 ESPN. Our Redbird Spring Training Report is brought to you by Rawlings. Visit the all-new Rawlings experience at Westport Plaza today.
Welcome back here to the Fast Lane, 101 ESPN. We are live from Helen Fitzgerald, where March Madness is upon us. We've got the unbelievable tournament tip-off here today, brought to you by Bud Light. Gentlemen, I have a question for both of you. Carey, I'll start with you first.
Sure.
When there's tryouts, training camp, all that stuff, spring training, how important is it if you're a bubble player or even a veteran guy, if you're trying to hang on to, how important is training camp for you?
Oh man, it's your livelihood.
And if you're a young guy, how important is it?
It is your livelihood.
Yeah.
You have to perform well, and going into said training camp, spring training, whatever training session it is, hey, I got to make the team. So I need to do this. I need to do that. I need to be the best person in my position. I got to show up and show out. This is like the Super Bowl for me. This is like the playoffs. I don't have time to coast and work through things. I got to show up and let everybody know that I'm the one that deserves this job. And if you do that, Jamie, when you do that, you usually almost always get that damn job that you worked so hard for.
Okay. Marshy, what do you think?
Yeah, I remember back when I was in camp. No, I'm just kidding. No, but seriously, like if you are a young player and you put so much effort and time into your craft and you're told, hey, there's going to be a competition for said spot, and then all of a sudden, like, that's just not the case, I'd be upset. Like, I saw a tweet today from STL Dysfunctional Fan. Honestly, what's the point of spring training anymore when some of these players who performed well never stood a chance? Players like Barrero, Perniak, Yosefo, McGreevy, Matthews never stood a chance, regardless how well they played. Sad.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's because you're both wrong. Training camp means nothing, obviously. Just ask the Cardinals. No, you're right, though. So it is frustrating a little bit to see these things. And we know that there's more that goes into it. We talked about it just the other day, just that Victor Scott has options. So you don't even have to make a tough decision yet because he's got options. You can take the easy way out by sending him down to Memphis instead of having him come out of spring training here on opening day with the Cardinals. But I think there's something to be said about a training camp that really matters. Like if you're starting to, or if you want to build a culture, which the Cardinals are trying to do right now, they're trying to. The next wave of Cardinal baseball is starting now. Basically, that's what they've tried to sell us on. And if you have a spring training or a training camp to where everything is predetermined, then what the hell are you doing? What are you creating as a culture?
Well, I think to me, that's the frustrating part. There's some of the names, I mean, you would hope that based on the position that they're playing, that they would get that opportunity. Because I think sometimes you get tired of seeing some of the same guys. You know who they are. You know what they are. And maybe that's the level of comfort that the Cardinals have in certain situations. You know who Jose Fermin is. The thing that he brings is he's able to play a multitude of positions. But Barrero is a guy that he looks the part. You're looking at him like, man, that guy looks like a baseball player.
He does look like he's got swag.
Man, he looks
like a baseball
he looks
player.
like a guy, right? And so you're wondering, okay, do you take a chance on a guy that has not proven anything, or a guy that you know in Fermin, and you say, at least I know what I'm going to get. And I think that at times is what the Cardinals have done. I think the most frustrating part for me is the Victor Scott issue. If he's and I get the he got options. He got, you know what?
That's the easy way out, Kerry.
I don't care.
I know.
I want the best players on the field at all times. I want the best batters. If I'm playing football, I want the best 11. I don't care how old they are. I don't care how young they are. I want the guys that can help me win games. And if that means that this player who has options to go down to the minors and still be able to play, and you can kind of correct some things, I don't care. Give me the best 9 guys, and then I'll figure out the rest later. If you're not one of those guys, sorry for you, because you probably in a lot of those cases, those guys have already had their opportunity to show whether or not they deserve it. And if you haven't shown it up until this point, if I still don't know who you are 2 to 3 years into your career, I probably ain't gonna know.
So if Victor Scott, like if he was the center fielder, and Maybe he will be. You know, like who knows? But let's say he's down in AAA. But also, I'm sorry, let's say he's at the major league level. He's a starting center fielder. Who's not playing then?
Well, Ciani is out for sure.
Well, yes, but
He's
then
out.
you have Newbar in left. Or,
I would have Newton left. I would have Gorman. Gorman would probably be the odd man out, unfortunately.
And you're okay with that?
I would, because I like what Alec Burleson.
I
trust Alec Burleson more. Brendan Donovan has earned the right to play every single day, and I think he's better. I think when you do that, you're putting your best lineup both in the field and at the plate. You got guys that can good defense up the middle, and you got Victor Scott has shown that he can play, that he can do his job at the plate this offseason. So for me, that would be the way to go. But I think they're hell-bent on getting Nolan Gorman more opportunities to find out who he is.
So I'm going to paddle out to the island here, okay, boys? And hear me out. If we're really going to be honest about this, and we're talking about how important spring training is and showing up and playing your game, let's go the other way. So if that's the case, if spring training matters, like ultimately the most, how you perform, then Mason Wynn doesn't make your team.
Okay.
Jose Fermin is playing shortstop, or Brendan Donovan instead of Mason Wynn. Mason Wynn is batting under 100 this spring training. It's terrible. It's awful. But you can't speak out of both sides of your mouth.
So here's
Victor Scott gets to earn a spot, but Mason Wynn doesn't get to lose a spot?
For me, because you're basing it off of what guys have already done. So there is always an exception to the rule. Nolan Arenado could have struck out every at bat this offseason.
That's different, though. That's a
he could have.
veteran.
But he
We're
could
not
have.
talking about a one-year wonder.
He could have. Now, Mason Wynn showed you last year the ability. He hasn't been good at the plate, but he also is very good in the field. So you can accept he's above average in the field. So there's always an exception. You made an exception with Yachty because of what he was behind the plate.
Yachty was still efficient at the plate, though.
but not to begin his career. Like he worked his way into being efficient at the plate. But you accepted him not being great at the plate in the beginning because you knew what he gave you behind the plate. So Mason Wynn is in that same mode in my mind. He's going to be outstanding.
So 1 year makes a career for you.
No, he's going to be out. But I know defense doesn't tail off. You might not be able to hit.
He hasn't played his second year yet.
Well, you know, Jamie. That arm, unless
yeah, I mean, he's made some incredible throws in spring training.
Yeah. I'm just saying, guys, and I understand what you're saying. And I said I'm going to paddle out
I
to
know
the island.
you are, and I'm trying to get you back, but we're
trying to save you, Jamie.
And I'm not. Listen, I'm not taking my heels in on this at all. I'm just saying that Mason Wynn has been terrible in spring training, and yet he'll still be your starting shortstop come opening day, which is fine. I'm okay with that. I get it. He had a good year last year. He hasn't proven anything this year, but his defense does play.
Correct.
So I guess that where I get aggravated with the Cardinals is as you're moving forward here, as you're trying to create this new team, you want to have training camp, spring training matter. You want that to matter because every year you want your players coming in, one, competing for a job, or two, trying to hang on to their job.
Right.
And if everybody competes hard like that, that usually creates a better team overall. And it creates a better winning culture.
Right.
You may not win games, but it's a winning mindset. And so that's why it bothers me that the Cardinals are still contemplating sending Victor Scott down, because out of all the center fielders, including Lars Nootbaar in this spring training, Victor Scott has outplayed them. So it sucks that he's going to be the victim of circumstances, which is you have options.
Yes.
And my whole thing was, if this was the case the entire time, what was the point of all of it?
Well, I guess the only way, if you're looking at it from the Cardinal standpoint, is maybe you start to explore options for Lars Nootbaar on the trade market. Maybe you start to explore, what you might do with Michael Ciani or somebody else for that matter, because Victor Scott may have woken you up enough now to say, okay, we need this guy in our lineup. Who do we get rid of in order to make a spot?
Well, and maybe it is Nolan Gorman. What does his leash look like? I heard BK Ferrario talking about that before we hopped on here.
Yeah.
What is Nolan Gorman's leash?
I don't think he has that much of a leash. I think he was given
He's got one of those
long,
little 3-foot puppy leashes.
You make sure you keep him tight, because I think last year he was given a long leash and he was able to play the entire season, and it just didn't look right.
He ran around the yard and dug holes and all sorts of stuff.
And then they finally said, okay, enough is enough. We'll send you down. So I don't know that his leash is very long. he's probably going to have to show you something within the first 4 to 6 weeks, and if not, then you might be moving in a different direction.
All right, that's Kerry Davis, Andrew Marsh, Jamie Rivers here. Again, we are at Helen Fitzgerald's. Come on down, say hi, enjoy some of the excitement, the food, all the beverages are awesome. When we come back here in the Fast Lane, it'll be What's Trending on 101 ESPN.
Tournament Tip-Off Party.
Refreshed by Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy.
What are the hot topics in the sports world?
What in the wide world of sports is going on here?
It's time to find out with
What's Trending? Brought to you by Elite Comfort Experts. Heating and cooling with no gimmicks, just guarantees. EliteComfortExperts.com.
Welcome back to the Fast Lane here on 101 ESPN with Carey Davis and Jamie Rivers. I'm Andrew Marsh. We are out here at Helen Fitzgerald's. It's been a great day so far, gentlemen. We have a few final scores so far with the Creighton and Louisville game. Creighton 89-75. They take down the Louisville Cardinals, or Louisville, as some people like to say. Purdue takes care of High Point 75-63, and Wisco over Montana 85-66. We got a couple more games going on right now, but so far, has your bracket been busted? That's the big question. You never want your bracket to be busted within like the first hour or two. Mine is, however. So
Carey's got 12 of them, so
I
I'm
got
sure
3
he's
of
fine.
them. 1 for them. I think I'm good on all of them.
You're good?
Yeah,
I lost,
right
let's see here. I had, where is Louisville?
Right there, yeah.
You lost? You had Louisville?
Top left.
Yeah, at Louisville beating Creighton, but I got Auburn in the next game. So, I mean, my bracket's not busted. That's for sure.
Nah, I'm good.
There's still hope.
You guys are good?
I had Purdue. I had
Yours busted, Marshy?
Creighton.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
I went with
took
High
High
Point.
Point.
You know, we had BK on earlier in this week, and he was
Over
talking up.
Purdue?
Yeah, he
Oh,
was.
my.
Was he not? He was talking up High
High
Point,
Point,
and
yeah.
I'm like, they have good food, so I thought I'd go with it.
Oh, boy.
And we said it was a different High Point, though.
It
but
was.
I don't,
Well, I stopped listening.
I don't think
so.
he was listening.
Well, I took them, and you know, that's the thing. There are going to be upsets in the first and second round.
Yeah.
You got to choose somebody, right? You
You
got to
do.
choose somebody. That was my somebody. I had a few different upsets. That was one of them. It didn't work out. It is what it is.
It happens.
It
Unfortunately.
happens.
It does
So,
happen. You'll be all right, Marshy.
well, one team that is going to definitely be all right is the Duke Blue Devils, because it looks like Cooper Flagg will play tomorrow night. He says he is pain-free after suffering his ankle injury that kept him out of majority of Duke's ACC tournament championship run, and he's supposed to be healthy for the tournament opener against Mount St. Mary's. I know that really doesn't change anything for anybody. I'm sure everybody had Duke winning that game regardless, but, you know, what does this do for the Duke Blue Devils?
Well, since I've got Duke winning everything, it means a lot to me in particular. But, no, this is obviously a huge boost. The fact that they were ranked number 1 in their little part of the bracket to begin with, knowing full well that this player may or may not be in the lineup, I mean, this just bodes well for Duke. I don't see them having a problem with, you know, anything until maybe the Arizona game between with the winner of Oregon, Arizona. Like, as they get closer,
Right.
Sweet 16, I think, is where they'll be challenged.
Yeah, I think if I would have probably wanted him to sit out this first weekend if possible.
Yeah.
Right. Give yourself a little bit more time.
Sit out or just kind of sprinkle them in and get them some reps.
If it's okay, I mean, he's probably going to be limited in the amount of time that he plays. But if you can get by without him playing at all, I would have probably tried that, just because those ankle injuries are you know, anything can happen. You could tweak it and twist it again. You could step on a foot and re-injure it. And it's probably not all the way healed as it was right now. I know there was a scary situation. He probably felt like his ankle was broke when it happened, which is why he responded like that. But, you know, he's the best player in the country, and if he's completely healthy, they do have a team that can make it all the way.
Would you do like one of those things where maybe you don't play him until, like, if the game started to get a little closer, like, hey, Cooper, yeah, you're in, buddy?
I wouldn't do that.
I'm the
because
opposite.
Yeah, it would be the opposite. It
Okay.
would be playing him, and then once you get a lead, taking him out, because
Gotcha.
you don't want to start cold. Like, you don't want to
That's
do
true.
the entire warm-up with the team and then sit over there for 45 minutes and like, oh, crap, we're losing, we got to play. And you're like, I ain't ready to play.
And that the thought of that, too, is if you need him then to jump in, like, he's going from cold.
Right.
He hasn't played in a while. His first game back from injury,
Right.
now you're
putting everything at
relying
risk.
upon him.
Yep.
That's when the intensity ramps up, and that's
Correct.
when you can, you know, maybe go for a ball or reach for something extra or try to make an extra move. I'd just play him in, we'll call them fluff minutes, you know? beginning of the game, get him some reps, and then if it gets out of control, after you take him out, maybe throw him in for some rough reps at the end.
Yep.
Guys, check this out. Robert Jones, who is Norfolk State's head coach, is angry that his team, who is a 16th seed, is a 28.5-point underdog against the Florida Gators.
Why is he angry?
So this is what he had to say. I know Florida's really, really good, and they run a great program. Got great players, but are we that bad that the point spread is like that? I'm a little angry. And like I said, I'm a little bit more focused and play better when I'm angry. He also added, I think the players play better when they're angry.
I was going to say, this is the head coach because he said he's focused and plays better when he's angry. He ain't playing. I don't know. Maybe something got lost in translation. I don't know. You can be mad as you want to be. You still got to send your team out there and play.
Do you take them to cover, though? Are they covering the 28.5?
That's a large spread.
But as far as the spread's concerned, like, use it as motivation.
Yeah.
Right. That's probably what he's doing.
Yeah, but he's kind of going about it in a weird way.
Whatever it takes to get your team going, do it. And
It ain't gonna
hopefully
matter.
I don't think it matters. You probably still ain't going to win. You might lose by 25. You did beat the spread, but,
That's
you
a
didn't win the
massive
game.
spread.
That is a large spread. That's 4 touchdowns. I don't know what we're doing here.
Yeah.
So we don't see, what is the highest seed that you think pulls off an upset?
Oh, wow.
Well, I'm sitting here watching this Alabama State and Auburn game, and I know Auburn is the #1 seed. They're hanging around with Auburn right now. They're only down by 3.
I don't need that, Kerry. I don't need that in my life.
No one needs that. Auburn is the #1 seed in the entire tournament.
16.
But let's be honest though, if they were to beat Auburn, I don't care about my bracket. I want to see.
Yeah, I think everybody would want to see that at that point because it's chaos. Most brackets, probably 98, 99% of the brackets are broken at that moment unless you go to Alabama State, right? That's probably the only group of people that are rooting for them to beat Auburn and actually pick them to beat Auburn.
I think this year in the tournament, and this is weird because they're seated lower than I thought they'd ever be, is UConn at 8. I have them.
Yeah.
I have them going on a run to the Final Four.
I got
based on what you saw last year and the pedigree.
The pedigree, all that. Not what I saw this year, and in fact, I thought Hurley was a jackass this year.
He was all over the place.
He was all over.
Got a new contract.
Picking fights with students and referees and coaches. He came across as an absolute diamondback most of the year, but that still is a good program, and they might be able to glue the pieces together enough here to go on a bit of a run.
Last thing here, Jimmy Snuggerud. This is for all the Blues fans out there who are excited about Jimmy Snuggerud. He is a top 10 Hobie Baker Award finalist. I don't think that's any surprise to see that, but it is good to know that the Blues have one of the best players in college hockey in their system.
Yeah, the next Scott Perunovich.
Well,
What? Well, he was a Hobie Baker winner.
Yeah. I don't think that's what you're.
I don't think we're looking for
No, I
that.
don't think so.
Why not? Hobie Baker. Best player in all
Yeah,
of
but
college hockey.
he's not on the team anymore.
Yeah.
Well, I know, but he won the Hobie Baker does.
Yeah, but
Did I go down the wrong path?
Yeah. Well, you got the right
I
part.
was
That part is right.
congratulating.
Yeah, but that part was right. But then you would hope that the career part for the Blues is different.
Oh, okay. I
Yeah,
got it. Yeah, well, then great news.
Yep.
For Jimmy Snuggerud and the Blues. I came across snarky there, I think. I don't know.
Well, okay.
Wasn't intended? I don't know.
Probably.
Scott Perunovich, he hasn't been on the team in quite some time now, after being traded to the Islanders. Do you think that the expectations for him were super high because of what Cale Makar did at UMass and because of what Scott Perunovich's team did and their team success at Duluth, winning national championships? Do you think that's why the expectations were so high for them? Were they almost like unrealistic expectations?
I don't know if they were unrealistic. I think that what happens with a player like that, or any player that is really, really good in junior or in college hockey, like you have to forecast how that's going to translate to the next level. And when Scott Perunovich played in the minors, he was fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, excellent. But the NHL level was just one step too far for him. And when you look at Cale Makar, He's a little bit bigger than Scott Perunovich. He skates a lot better than Scott Perunovich.
Right.
Quinn Hughes skates a lot better than Scott Perunovich. His hockey IQ defensively is higher than Scott Perunovich. So when you look at, we'll call them comparable style defensemen, young defensemen in the NHL, he just wasn't there. And he wasn't going to get there here in St. Louis. Who knows where it'll end up? I mean, he's got a long road left, hopefully in the NHL for him. He's a great dude, great teammate. I wish him nothing but the best. But it just wasn't translating at the NHL level for him. So the Blues did move on. Jimmy Snuggerud, though, guys, as much as I was being a jackass earlier, his play, his game does translate to the NHL. He does, because as a forward, he finds that open ice. He gets to those areas, the high danger areas. He gets the puck. It's on his stick. It's off his stick. It's in the back of the net. So I think that, him being in the Hobie Baker conversation as a top 10 finalist, I think that's really positive for the Blues. All right, that was What's Trending. Again, here from Helen Fitzgerald, watching a bunch of March Madness. Having lots of fun with the people here. Come on down, say hi, grab something to eat, watch a game. We're having a really good time doing it. Marshy, what do we got coming up next since you lost my screen?
Oh, yeah. Well, speaking of
there you go.
Speaking of college
it,
basketball, Mizzou, they're playing tonight. They're taking on Drake. I got my Mizzou shirt right on.
Shame on you.
Is that a new shirt or an old?
No, this is new. It's newer. I've had it for like a year or so.
It's got that faded look to it, though.
No,
like
it
that.
is a cool shirt,
I do
though,
like
Carey.
that shirt.
You gotta admit.
Carey, you would wear that.
Come on.
I would not.
You'd wear that.
If it says Dad at the bottom, Missouri,
I'm not a
We
father.
Dad,
we give it on the back.
then I might
Number
wear it.
one dad on the back.
There you go.
Okay?
Maybe.
How's that?
That's the only way I wear Mizzou stuff.
We should get Carey one of those split shirts.
We should.
Nah,
Yeah, you'll be like
my heart's
you'll be
not
like
split.
one of the Kelsey
Like the Steelers
parents.
and the Ravens.
Steelers, Ravens, Illini, Tigers. Cardinals, Dodgers.
Now you're talking. Okay. Those are two of my teams, actually. Oh, man.
But speaking of Mizzou, what does a successful season look like for Mizzou now that they're in the tournament? Last year wasn't their year. Do they need to win tonight?
We'll get into that next here in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. It's a fast lane here on 101 ESPN. Your Mizzou Tigers basketball program, gentlemen, got into the tournament this year. I believe they're, what, 8th ranked team in their sixth ranked team in their division, their conference. Region, whatever the hell you call it. He's fine. Our listeners know what I was talking about. They're intelligent.
They are.
They're good people, most of them. Anyways, all right, so this year for Mizzou, for you guys, what does this mean for the program overall? Because at one point, people were talking about, like, Final Four bound. They were playing really good basketball.
Yeah.
After they beat, what was it, Bama, that one game?
Yeah.
Like, everybody was on the train at that point.
And then Carey shot it down, and they haven't been the same
Carey
since.
did derail the entire thing. We're not going to hold him personally responsible, however we should.
You could say that he was right, though.
I think I was honest in my assessment.
But the hard part, Carey, is you hate Mizzou no matter what. So
well, but I
fact
also
that you say it's like the fact that it worked out. Now you can't. Like, come on.
You're not wrong. I will admit to that. You're not wrong. But what I said when I watched the Mizzou Tigers play Illinois, I went down for the bragging rights game, and Illinois at the time was playing really well. They had a really good season going on, and then they kind of faltered down the stretch as well. But what I saw in that game was a team that interior, they just weren't big enough. And then we saw that in a multitude of games for Mizzou later on down in the season, that teams were able to get in the paint and score almost at will. And that was one of the things that really caused concern for me about that team. Yes, they are, I think, elite defensively on the perimeter, but when you get inside, when you get into the teeth of the defense, they are easy to score on because they're not really big and don't move really well. And I was telling Ali this during he was like, "Oh, you're wrong." Ali that works with us at 101 ESPN.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Ali Marble.
No.
I was like, Jesus, Carey. Can we introduce us to your best friend?
I have texted Ali a few times
on the payroll
to try to get him on the show. We'll get him on eventually. Ali Marble.
I don't think he will.
No, we will.
He hates us. I know he does.
He doesn't hate us. He's a good guy. But no, and I was because he's a huge Missouri fan. And so I was saying, Ali, I think that Mizzou is struggling because they don't have bigs. They don't move well enough on the interior. And that has been their downfall, in my opinion, for the games that they have lost. It's getting into the interior of the defense. So if they're able to prevent that from happening, I think they have a good chance to make a run here. In terms of what looks like a good season for Mizzou, I mean, this team went 0-18 in conference play last year. They won 8 games, I believe, all of last year in Dennis Gates' second year. First year was really good. Second year, not so good. Third year is where we are now, and we're waiting to see what that turns out. I think they need to win the first round. I think this team needs to make it to the Sweet 16.
Okay.
They lost. You got to win 2 games. Like I think that's how I feel. I think they have to make it.
Otherwise, you consider it a failure this year?
I think if they lose in the first or second, I mean, they lost in the second round 2 years ago when they made it to the tournament. So if your goal is to progress and get better, yeah, I do. I feel the same way about Illinois, though. So before we get the text, oh, you don't say that about Illinois. Stop it.
You don't say that about Illinois.
Stop it. Illinois, and I've said this all along, Mizzou wins this first game, this is a team that can make it Sweet 16, Elite 8. I feel the same way about Illinois. You win the first game, there's a team that can make it to the Sweet 16, Elite 8. That is a talented team. Missouri is. They have been all year. And then they started stinking down the stretch, and they went from a potential 2 or 3 seed to a 6 seed.
Yeah.
And so you know that the talent is there. Can they do it an entire game, and can they keep the opposing teams out of the teeth of their defense?
I think getting to the tournament based on where they were last year, that in itself is a success if you want to look at it from that perspective. I do wonder, like, if people's opinion on the team changes based on how the rest of the SEC does. So, like, if Mizzou is one of the only SEC teams out of the big hitters, right, to not make the second round, to not win that first game, let's take Texas out of there because they already lost. But, if they're one of the only teams to not really make it to the second round or it looks bad, then I wonder if people start thinking, all right, like this was a huge disappointment because you did beat some of these bigger teams throughout the year, and now you just lost to Drake.
Yeah.
Drake? He's a great rapper, though.
He is a
He didn't
great
fare
rapper.
well with
He has a
Kendrick.
lot of beef with a lot of people.
Yeah,
I'll
he
tell you
didn't
that.
fare
I thought you were a Kendrick Lamar guy.
No, he's a good rapper. He's a great rapper. He just got, put to shame against Kendrick Lamar.
You got to pick a side, man.
I got a side. I'm rolling with Kendrick.
Okay, but you just said Drake.
I can say somebody is great. No.
No, not in this one. You're either Kendrick or you're
No,
Drake.
You're either Illinois or you're Mizzou.
The
I'm
Carey.
Illinois.
the kids have told me you cannot like both
Okay.
because of the beef that they have.
I don't like both.
Well, you just said you did.
I said
I
he's
can
a
like
great
both.
rapper. No, I did. Oh, my God. You listen like some of my exes.
What? Well, if you're flip-flopping like that, it's no wonder they're your exes.
So I think what Carey's saying is that he thinks Drake is a good rapper. He does not necessarily like Drake.
There you go.
Yeah, so like I think
It's the same
the
thing.
Colorado
Will you listen to his
Avalanche.
music?
I think the Colorado Avalanche are a good hockey team.
There you go.
I don't like them
Do you
though.
turn on TV and search for their games to watch it?
No.
I mean, if
You-
they're
do
on,
you have
like,
Drake on your phone?
Hell no.
You don't have Drake music.
I don't. I mean,
Give
I
me your
got
phone.
Apple Music.
I'm
so
gonna
if
Mike
you-
Babcock this thing. Give me your phone. You're lying like a cheap rug. All right, that's Kerry Davis, Andrew Marsh, and what's the most concerning thing for the Cardinals? We'll talk about that next here on 101 ESPN. It helps if you touch if you turn the mic on,
yeah,
Carey.
You've been here longer than I have,
Yeah,
Jamie.
yeah. That doesn't mean anything, trust me.
It does not.
I do guerrilla radio, basically is what it is. I follow no pattern. I don't follow anything traditional. I try my best to stay on time. But apart from that, I mean, it's all hands on deck.
Figure it out as you go.
If they're going to let me drive, then they better put on the damn seatbelt. All right, it's 101 ESPN, the Fast Lane here at Helen Fitzgerald. We are watching basketball, eating food. Marshy's eating my food. And I don't blame him. It's excellent food. He had food earlier, but he's a young, growing boy still at 29 years old. Happy birthday,
Yes.
Jen. Yep.
Somebody's clapping.
Hey,
Yeah.
yep,
I think they were
absolutely.
clapping about Clemson losing
I thought it was
to
for
McNeese.
Marshy.
Oh,
All right.
Maybe.
I guess I don't care about
So,
it.
Carey, you talked about your boy Ollie last segment. Let's talk about the Cardinals. And what's more concerning for the Cardinals? Marshy, I know you got some either-ors for us.
Absolutely, and we want people to text in to the Air Comfort Service text line there, either or, and we'll answer those as well, 314-399-9646. Let's start off with this first one. Mason Wynn's offensive numbers this spring or Sonny Gray's home runs allowed in spring. What's more concerning for the Cardinals?
What was Mason Wynn's what? Hitting?
Just his offensive numbers.
Yeah, that's more concerning for me because I'm thinking long-term. Sonny Gray's not going to be here long-term. He's not going to be here 3-4 years from now. How long is his contract?
He got 3 more years.
Maybe he will.
He got 3 more.
But Mason Wynn should probably be here for an extended period of time, I would think. You drafted, you developed this player. He's got all-star capabilities, Gold Glove, all that stuff.
Yeah.
So it's more concerning for me that Mason Wynn offensively is not doing what he should be.
For me, it's going to be Sonny Gray because, and I know what I don't want to say it, but I got to say it. And I know what you're going to say when I say it, but I'm going to say it anyways because he's getting older, Jamie.
Oh, there it is, Marshy. Marshy, you're almost in that category now.
You are. And once he hits 30, I'm going to start hating on him. He's old.
Yeah.
He's gonna start coming to my men's league hockey games and start.
He's too old.
Chirping
He can't
me.
move.
I turned
He doesn't
50
skate
and
well.
Carey just started mocking me. You guys didn't see me side texting me the whole day, just mean things too.
No, I think it's Sonny Gray because we've seen, like with Mason Wynn, we talked about it. The hitting is one element, but defense for me, it travels, it plays. He's going to be stellar in the field regardless, unless he allows what's happening at the plate to affect his defense. But I think the defense plays regardless, and so that's why I'm still high on Mason Wynn. But if Sonny Gray, because we've seen this is your ace. This is your number one pitcher. If he performs in the season in any way similar to what he has performed in spring training, oh yeah, good luck. We'll be done by May.
We might be anyway, so in fairness.
Well, if he's pitching any, and I have no reason to think that he will. Well,
Our
Jamie,
rotation can certainly cover up for whatever Sonny Gray does, right? We're gonna have six.
think
We're gonna have
so.
a 6-man rotation. We'll just take him out of it.
Oh, okay. Is that how that works?
I don't know.
Okay.
I feel like
see.
we can do anything we want this year.
We can. I don't know that they can. I think they got to play certain players, right?
Marshy, what's more concerning for you?
I think right now I'm going to go with Mason Wynn's offensive numbers just because of what he brought to the lineup last year. And I thought heading into the year that he would be the one guy that I could at least count on. And things could absolutely change. Once the regular season starts, he could go immediately back to what he was.
Could.
And all this was just for nothing. But for me right now, he is that guy because I already have question marks about a lot of the other players in the lineup, and he wasn't one of them heading into spring training. So hopefully he can get back to what he was, and this is just him working through things. But, yeah, that's probably the most concerning out of these two to choose from. All right, this next one is Jordan Walker's limited playing time due to his injury or the veteran starters blocking arms. What's more concerning for the Cardinals?
Carey, go ahead.
I would say the veteran arms. Again, it's similar to other things. You've seen what you can get out of certain players, and for me, if the ceiling is higher, but I'm still unsure, I still want to know what the other player has. If I know what the baseline is for Steven Matz, for Miles Michaelis, I know where we are. I understand that this is what I'm going to get out of them. If I get somewhere a little bit higher, a little bit lower, fine. But baseline, I know what that number is. I know what that's going to look like. But the ceiling for a younger player, for Michael McGreevy, for Gordon Graceffa, Andre Palante, he's going to be in the rotation more than likely. But if the ceiling is much higher for those guys, I want to see that. So I think the blocking of younger pitchers for me is more concerning.
Marshy?
For me, I think it's Jordan Walker. He was one of those question marks for me, and I would like to see more of what he could do at spring training, see some of those adjustments and whatnot, and I think he needed a little bit more of a runway. So definitely having him injured for a couple weeks, it isn't great. But again, things could change once the regular season starts next Thursday. But I would like to at least have him play a little bit more than he did this spring.
So Matz and Michaelis have, a year left on their deals?
Matz and Michaelis, yes.
Yeah, so my bigger concern is Jordan Walker, because a year from now, you're done with the Matz-Michaelis experiment, and one more year in the minors for Graceffa, McGreevy, whatever. Even if they're up and down, they're going to be just fine. It's not going to hurt them, because those guys will be gone. So they're not really blocking them long-term. Jordan Walker, though, long-term, that could be concerning. If he can't find his game offensively and defensively, then that's going to hurt the Cardinals. And especially since he was like the highest touted prospect in, 20 years.
He's got to hit.
He's got to hit.
He's got to hit.
And he's got to defend at an average level. That's all. So he would be my bigger concern. We got one more, Marcy?
Yeah, let's go.
We got
to
a couple.
this
We got time
one.
for a couple.
Yeah, we got a few here.
Some texting in too.
We do. We do have some people texting in. Let's actually go to the text line real quick. Let's go there. Jamie's Vacation Speedo. TMA had Dennis Gates to talk to Jackson in the show. And they've been cursed ever. Oh wait, that was for last segment. But that is true. Ever since Jackson
did it for sure.
Maybe it's Jackson's fault.
Ever since they offered Jackson a walk-on there, a scholarship. What are they doing?
I don't know. All right, let's look at this one from Jamie's Vacation Speedo. Burleson's playing time or Donovan's playing time? I don't know if this is more like of what's more concerning, but for you guys,
which one?
Which one's more important?
Yeah.
So one, I'm less concerned about Donnie's playing time because he's going to play almost every game.
Yeah.
And so the flip side of that,
it's fine.
We almost had somebody walk in front of the camera. Tony's about to call security.
Did he panic?
He panicked a little bit. But no, I think Donnie's going to play as much as you possibly can. So my bigger concern would be finding more reps for Alec Burleson.
Right.
I think that's the best way to put it.
I agree with that one.
I was watching the video when she walked.
Did she walk through?
She stopped right at time. I think I'm not concerned about Donovan playing. Like he's a guy that has. They talk about how many gloves he has. He can play wherever you want to play him. He's going to find a spot. I think that spot should be second base. But what do I know? But Burley, because you have Nolan Gorman, because you have the Victor Scott concern, and if he's playing, somebody else is not in. So I think Burley playing would be more of a concern for me than Donovan.
All right, Michael Ciani over Victor Scott, or a six-man rotation that does not have Michael McGreevy in it?
That rotation.
The six-man rotation is just a joke. It's an ultimate cop-out. Don't you think? No, there's a reason that baseball teams, more of them, don't have a six-man rotation. Because, in essence, it's not supposed to work. It's not supposed to be healthy for your pitchers to be in a six-man rotation. So that's by far a bigger concern for me.
And what did BK said the other day when he was on the show, that this wouldn't be something that would last that long? It'd almost be like
the Dodgers doing this?
An extent. Well, the Dodgers have 40
Doesn't
starting
matter.
pitchers.
Do you see them doing it?
They're a good team.
Do you see the Yankees doing this?
They're a great team.
Come on.
In fairness, those teams are way better than the Cardinals, and they have way less question marks.
Well, this is true.
To me, I don't know why Michael McGreevy wouldn't be in this starting rotation. Like that, I thought he should have been in it at the end of last year.
He earned a spot.
Dealing. I don't get it.
He earned a spot for sure. He should have been an automatic. But give it time. Somebody's going to get hurt, Mats.
Probably.
Yeah.
So for you guys, are you more concerned about the offense or defense this year? Do you think the fans are more concerned about, like, are they more focused on the offense? I feel like we've talked a lot about the offense more so than the pitching this year. Like, what is the bigger concern for you?
Yeah, for me, it's definitely the defense, for sure.
Yeah.
Because when I look at the offense, if Burley's hitting, Donovan, he's going to get on base. Contreras is going to hit. Arenado's looking better. Like, overall, your offense, Herrera can hit. He's going to hit for 300. So when you have that kind of offensive ability, I don't think people are concerned about it. But then let's flip that on its head for a second. Contreras playing first base for the very first time.
Right.
Herrera behind the plate who can't throw out anybody. Gorman, who's not as good as Donovan at second base.
Newbar in center.
Walker playing the outfield. So,
Yes.
like, there are a lot of concerns
Yeah.
when it comes to the defensive side for me.
Yeah, you swayed my argument. I agree. I was thinking the other way. Then you started naming all those damn names. I'm like, you know what? Jamie got a point. Yeah, the defense.
Not often, but I got this one.
This time.
Yeah. I appreciate you giving that to me, Carey. You're so polite of you to do that.
Anytime you need it, I'll give it to
I
you.
know.
Jamie.
I really appreciate it.
Yep.
You're a very giving person.
Anytime.
Yeah.
I got you.
Well, I just feel like, the offense, if it is going to struggle at times, like, then you have to have a solid defense. And I feel like at some points with this pitching staff as well, based on what we know, if you're giving the other team more opportunities to hit and get on base and do all these other things, that's higher pitch counts. That's, that's games where you're ruining pitchers for, maybe the next game if you have guys in the bullpen that are coming in. I just feel like the defense is something that maybe we're overlooking, and it seems like the Cardinals are going to go with more of an offensive approach, which I get, I understand, but I think the lack of defense could be scary.
I think that's what we saw, not last year, but a couple of years ago with the bullpen, when you had guys just being, trotted out there pretty much every single day. You knew they were going to be gassed. So I agree. If you're starting pitching, has to stay out there longer because your defense behind them isn't performing. It just starts rolling downhill, and it could be bad really quickly. So
That's Kerry Davis, Andrew Marsh, Jamie Rivers. We've got the voice of the Blues, Chris Kerber. Coming up next, we'll ask him what he thinks about the game tonight between the Blues and the Canucks. That's right here on 101 ESPN. It's the Fast Lane here on 101 ESPN. We're headed out to the... I wasn't sure if we were going. Bradford didn't give me the go time there, so... Anyways, we're headed out to our celebrity hotline. We use that pretty loosely. We bring in Chris Kerber, the voice of the Blues. Kerbs, how we doing, bud?
I think that's a very loose name for that line right now. I agree with you.
Hey, Kerbs, the guys and I were a little concerned the other day. Following the Predators game, we were playing the audio from the night before. And we love listening to your calls, especially when the Blues win in a big game like that. And, you know, you just seem very laissez-faire at the end of that. You're like, bring out the Zamboni. Blues beat the Preds, you know, whatever.
You're getting used to it,
They just keep winning. Please tell me you're not getting complacent, Kerbs.
No, but I do like getting used to winning, though. You know, I like winning. You know, it's better than losing.
Yeah. It absolutely is. We're just busting your chops, Kerbs. We know you do a heck of a job, and we appreciate all of your calls. But, hey, tonight, huge game for the Blues. I mean, it's an understatement. You're tied with this team right now. It's a 4-point game. All of the things you want to bring up. You know, you're down at morning skate today. What's the general vibe overall?
Man, it's the same thing, Jamie, that you've experienced over the last few weeks with this team. They have moved into that very business-like, nothing seems to be mattering them, unflappable, what's next kind of mode. And that, to me, is what's helping them win. The Jimmy Montgomery's message hasn't changed. Their approach hasn't changed. Shoot, for that, Murray, except for obviously Parayko, and then for the Fowler missing one game, the lineup itself hasn't changed. It's going to be the 15th consecutive game they've had the same forward combinations in the game. That's really something that you don't see too often in the National Hockey League anymore. So you're around them like I am. They've got that confidence again, and you know what's really been missing for probably a couple of years now, a year and a half or so, is just that feeling that you can win a game no matter who you're playing. You know, there was that one stretch in there where, for a while we were like, okay, what team is going to show up? Can you win this game? I don't know. If they play this way, they could win this game. But if they play like they did 2 nights ago, they're going to get killed, that kind of thing. That hasn't been there now for a little while, and you can tell.
Yeah, you can also tell that they are playing together. They're playing for one another. They're working hard. What do you think just caused that? It feels like, it's not like the guys don't like each other, don't love each other. It didn't happen overnight, but you can notice it now that they are actually doing all of the things as teammates and being good teammates for one another. What do you think just brought this about?
Well, I just think the success reinforcement of winning, a handful of games in a row, it really has made a difference. Now, here's the thing. Remember, when a team is losing, that's when we question leadership, right? When a team is losing, that's when we, the chemistry's not right, that kind of thing. I'll tell you something. The chemistry of this group of guys together hasn't changed. It doesn't feel any different now than it did, honestly, back in October. What has just changed is the results. This team had a sense of closeness. This team had a sense of togetherness, and you could tell that they liked the guys in the locker room. There weren't cliques, there weren't things going on. They just weren't getting the wins. But from an actual behind-the-scenes chemistry standpoint, I think you felt that this group was pretty good all season long. The difference that you're seeing now publicly is just the fact that they're getting the wins, and that wins is leading to confidence, and that confidence is leading to some swagger. And then what you're seeing on the ice, you got to love it. Butch Navich takes a hit, and Jake Neighbors goes after McCarron. Doesn't even think about it. McCarron is one tough customer there, and Jake Neighbors just went right at him. But you go back. If you go back a couple of years, there was a play in Tampa where Robert Bortuzzo ran Andre Vasilevsky, and it was right below us in the radio booth. And the way all 5, instantaneous, like they were just robots, and somebody hit a button, and they all keyed in on Bortuzzo, and 5 guys went after Bortuzzo all at the same time. It just jumps out of the page at you, and that's the kind of togetherness you're seeing on the ice with the Blues right now. that maybe wasn't there a year ago, and I love it. I mean, they're standing up for each other, and it makes a difference.
Curbs, obviously we're biased here in St. Louis, but out of all the teams that are fighting for that final wild card spot, obviously the Blues, Vancouver, Calgary, even Utah, do you think the Blues are the most playoff-built team? And do you think we'll see that play out tonight between the Blues and the Canucks?
I think that the St. Louis Blues, out of all those teams, number one, have the most playoff-proven group of players, especially in net. And I think that that's really making a difference down the stretch here. Having said that, Calgary's picked up 2 out of good wins in their last 3 games. The Vancouver Canucks just roll. This is a team that has had a trouble scoring goals this year. They just put 6 on Connor Hellebuck, who's not only going to be the Vezina winner, he may end up winning the Hart Trophy as the league MVP. They're playing some good games. So to me, the Blues, I think, have the most battle-tested group in terms of spread throughout their lineup than the other 2 teams. The other teams are still finding some of that consistency to go, and it's coming down to that. Who's got the most consistent group? So Calgary tonight, right, is playing, and Calgary's going through that Eastern road trip where you're hitting all the New York teams, right? Vancouver's going to go from here into New York, and they're going to go hit the Islanders, the Rangers, and the Devils, and that's going to be key. There's 6 games for the Vancouver Canucks after this where they're playing Dallas and Colorado, and they've got 2 against Vegas, including their season ender. There's some really, really tough games ahead. So, to me, the battle-tested part is going to be the real key, and that's why I do like the Blues' chances.
We're talking with the voice of the Blues, Chris Kerber, here on 101 ESPN. Kerbs, I'll get you out on this one here. It's a bit of a 2-parter for you. But what does it say about the defense core of the Blues that really nobody has talked too much about missing Parayko? As crazy as that sounds. And then the second part is, how massive is that trade for Cam Fowler now?
Well, Cam, Jamie, that's where I was going to go right at the beginning. Some people may make the complaint that the Blues really weren't that busy during the trade deadline. Their trade deadline was in December. And what they paid for Cam Fowler would have been a lot more had they waited into January, or obviously to the deadline to get him. That addition of Cam Fowler was absolutely huge. So that's one of the big reasons. A healthier, refreshed Philip Broberg is another big reason they've been able to eat some of the minutes of Colton Parayko. And look, I think you got to give some credit. Like when we talk about how they're doing it, you got to include Tyler Tucker in there. Because if you go back, look at the last 5 games, Jamie, how many times have you broken down a play, on the TV side where you've gone, well, if Tucker turns this way, or this guy was Tucker's guy, or something like that, you haven't done it. And so he and Suter have been just terrific in that third pairing as well. I think the other biggest thing, though, while we give credit to them, is every one of the forwards, all 4 forward lines, have committed to playing defense back in their own end. And that's what's leading to some of the offense. But they are when you look at those, I think it was about 5 times against the Nashville Predators, they made that Nicholas Lidstrom little play where instead of going up the wall, he would just pass that puck to the middle of the ice, and it almost seemed like an indefensible breakout. Well, the Blues are able to do that because the forwards are in there to help out, and the Blues defensemen have been able to kill plays because the forwards have come back to really play well in the zone, and it's made a big difference. So you get this kind of play like that, when the big 55 gets back in there, oh, my goodness, that's going to be an even better scenario than you're seeing right now.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun for sure, Kerbs. Well, look, buddy, have a great call tonight. It's a national game, so John Kelly and I not on it, but we will be listening. We'll be cheering, and hopefully we're talking about a Blues win come tomorrow.
All right, guys, have an awesome rest of the day.
All right, thanks, Chris. You too. Thank you.
Cheers. You got it.
Again, that was the voice of the Blues, Chris Kerber there. Some good stuff there from Kerbs. As always, he will be on the call. Remember, pregame starts at 5:30 tonight. We're off early. Puck drop at 6:30 with none other than Chris Kerber. All right, it is time for Hot Take or Hot Garbage. So get in your text right now. I forget the text line number. What is it?
314-399-9646.
There we go.
Air Comfort Service text line.
Hot take or hot garbage next on 101 ESPN.
March, May.
Boom! Hot take! Welcome back to the Fast Lane here on 101 ESPN. Hot take or hot garbage? Marshy, what have we got?
All right, before we get into hot take or hot garbage, we have a text from the 314. This texter is pretty adamant about knowing this specific question,
Okay.
and it's for you, Jamie.
It's for me.
Hey, Jamie Rivers,
Oh, boy.
where did you get that silver tie you wore during the Minnesota game? I can't find the same one.
Okay, what silver tie was that? The Minnesota game. What was I wearing against Minnesota, guys?
Says if it's a secret tie, Jamie, that you want to keep for yourself, that's fine. I understand.
Silver tie against Minnesota. I'm trying to remember what the hell that was. Silver tie.
You're going to have to go look at the game film.
Yeah,
Get
we got
back
to. If he has a picture or something, he can send pictures to the text line, although it's at our own risk to open it, of course. I'll have to think about that for a second. I can't remember what the hell I wore that night, but
What day was it? You
was
don't
Saturday.
even know. Jamie doesn't remember what he did yesterday. You're asking.
yeah.
You got to send a picture to jog his memory.
I mean, I appreciate the compliment very much. I actually do put a lot of effort into my wardrobe. I try to make sure that I don't wear the same things a lot. I try to make sure you don't wear the other team's colors by accident.
Oh, that's a good point.
The Twitter world held me accountable about 4 years ago.
Really?
Yeah, it was just I thought I looked pretty damn sharp. You
Yeah.
know? Had a nice dark teal shirt under. And a tie.
Did
with
Anthony get that for
Yeah.
you?
Was it
just so
the-
happens we're playing the Sharks. I'm like, love the
Anthony
Sharks.
Sharks.
I'm like, really? I'm wearing a nice suit. You think I love the other team? What the hell's wrong with you? But anyway, so yeah, I appreciate that, and I'll try to figure out what the heck it was I was wearing that night.
All right, let's start off with the 636's hot take or hot garbage. Hot take or hot garbage, having more than one bracket shows your lack of knowledge and lack of integrity of the game.
Hot take. Hot take.
Which one of you two takes that in, huh?
Anybody with more than one bracket
Hot garbage.
is a psychopath, first of all.
Thank you.
Yeah, and
Thank you.
yeah, they should seriously seek help. Carey, your thoughts?
It's hot garbage. Fill out as many brackets as you want. You still ain't going to get none of them right. What difference does
That's
it
not a
make?
very good attitude.
You aren't. That McNeese
Every
is
year,
about to beat.
every year we have the ultimate bracket.
Yeah.
Somebody has it.
No. How many times do we have, anybody make, the complete bracket correct?
Every year there's at least one person.
They do it every year, and I haven't seen anybody.
What do they
win it
call
yet.
that, by the way?
It's the ultimate bracket.
Is it ultimate bracket?
I think so.
Okay.
They say, by round one, by the end of the first weekend, 85% of the brackets are busted. Wow. You
Who
can fill out
cares?
50 of them. You ain't going to get it right. You know, Jamie?
It's all about odds and
I like your
probabilities, right?
So I need a mathematician.
And a lot of brackets.
Yeah.
Well, don't worry, Carey's got that covered.
Well, you all, when I win it all, fellas,
Yeah, the ultimate bracket.
don't ask me for nothing.
All right,
I got 3 brackets. 2 of them are already busted.
hot take or hot garbage. I've been seeing a lot of dumb Blues fans complaining about how if the Blues sneak into the playoffs now as the second wild card, that will probably lose in the first round, and they don't want to see that. However, I believe if they do get in, since they are the hottest team currently, they could go on a long run to the conference final or even the Stanley Cup final because of this defense and, of course, big game Binner. Hot take or hot garbage?
Yeah, I'll go with hot take with it. And I know that's a stretch to say they're going to make the Stanley Cup final.
To which part, though?
I think it's hot take that the Blues are a good team, that they could they could surprise. I think it's hot garbage to think that they're going to make the playoffs and just get bounced easily. Let's just look at the body of work here recently. They're playing playoff-style hockey, and they're beating teams playing that way. As it sits right now, they would end up playing the Winnipeg Jets. End up losing the last time to the Jets in, what was it, overtime or shootout? I can't remember. It was in extra innings, we'll call it.
Yeah, that was in the first game, I believe, back from the Four Nations.
First or second game.
And the Blues were winning that game, too, until the
very end.
Until they pulled their goalie.
Yeah, and so I like the odds of the Blues playing against the Winnipeg Jets. I think that the Jets, I don't believe they even have a Stanley Cup champion on that team. Connor Hellebuck has been a goalie that hasn't been able to answer the bell as far as the big games go. So if the Blues sneak into the playoffs here, I call it sneaking in. They're kicking in the front door at this point. I don't think Winnipeg is thrilled to play them.
I don't think anybody would be. We have said it time and time again. This team has found they found something. I don't know where the hell they got it. I don't know why it took them so long to get it. I mean, if you could do this, why wouldn't you find it sooner, Jamie?
They got it while they're on vacation. You know.
Don't give it back. Yeah, keep it. Sometimes you have to.
All right, from the 314, hot take or hot garbage, the NCAA tournament champion will come from the SEC.
Hot garbage.
I think that's definitely hot garbage, although Florida's a hell of a team. Let's not overlook that. But since I have the winner.
You got Duke winning.
The
ACC.
Yeah, he said the SEC.
I know, and you said Florida's a hell of a team. And
yeah, I said they're a hell of a team, but they're not going to win.
Oh. Would you let me
You
said
finish
hot
your thought?
take?
I don't know what the hell I said now. You got me so freaking confused.
You said hot take.
No.
But you told us earlier you got Duke
I didn't say
winning
hot
it
take
all.
or hot
I
garbage.
don't remember.
I just started talking
Our
because I forgot what the segment was. I was just talking till I was rudely interrupted.
You filibuster until you can remember what was going on?
Yeah, whatever you just said. Sure. Whatever. I don't even know what the question was.
Bunch of
now.
words.
I'll just say hot garbage.
All right, there you go. I agree.
Hot take or hot garbage from the 618. It's time to focus on Victor Scott's promotion to the starting outfield instead of Jordan Walker.
What?
Ooh. One or the other?
Wow. I'm going to say hot garbage because Jordan Walker still profiles to be a much more impactful player.
He got to start doing it.
He does. But he still profiles. His ceiling is way higher than what Victor Scott's is. So I'm going to go with hot garbage on that.
I will go with hot garbage as well. I think the most dangerous and worst word in sports is potential. Guy's got all the potential in the world. That just means he ain't done it yet.
Prospect and potential, the P word.
Scares the hell out of you.
Yeah.
You know? I want a guy that's doing it. Getting it done. Getting the damn job and doing it well. There you go.
These people. From the 314, hot take. Spring is better than
these
fall.
People, us old people, is that what
No,
these
the
people?
text line. They know how to rile us
Talking
up.
about
What
us.
do you mean these people?
Old people?
Yeah.
Is you're
you're
29 because you're under 30?
You're putting
And
words in my mouth.
now we're these people. Now we're old
I'm
people.
talking about
Now
the
you're
text
considered
line.
old.
He thinks
You're the
we're
guy
old.
that picks on old people. What's the problem, Marshy? Go ahead.
I
He's
was
mad at us.
saying these people, as in the text line, knows how to rile us up. Hot take or hot garbage. Spring is better than fall.
Oh, hot take.
Hot garbage.
Hot take.
Hot garbage.
Monty was the tiebreaker yesterday, guys. His vote counts for two.
Fall is for football. Nothing better. Greatest
Spring
sport
is
ever.
for NHL playoffs.
Nothing better.
What's
Spring is for NFL draft,
What?
NFL combine,
Kerry?
NFL, you name it.
I have another-
NFL free agency.
Settle down, NFL. Let me ask you a question. Out of all of the sports, who has the best playoffs? I've heard you say it, so you can't lie. We have
wanna lie.
audio. We have audio of this.
NHL.
There we go.
they
And
have
when
a
does
great
that
playoff.
happen, Carey?
Spring.
I rest my case, Your Honor. All right, it's the Fast Lane here on 101 ESPN. When we come back, we're going to bet the board.
Yes.
The Blues play
It's a fast lane here on 101 ESPN. We are out at Helen Fitzgerald's enjoying an awesome day of basketball, great food, beverages. Staff is awesome. Our waitress just came by, took care of us. I think we ate like an hour ago. She's just been patient, didn't want to bother us. Sweetheart.
It hurts if I turn my mic on.
Oh, yeah, it does help to turn your mic on.
I was talking.
But, yeah, anyways, everybody here doing a great job. We're having a great time. Again, there's lots of time. We're here until 5:30 tonight, so come on by, say hi, drop in, and enjoy all the fun here at Helen Fitzgerald's. All right, boys, it is time for Bet the Board. Did anybody hit last night, Marshy?
You did.
I did?
You
no,
did.
He didn't.
I thought I didn't. Did I?
He had a power play point.
Yeah, Austin Matthews had a
I
goal.
did. I did hit it. Yes, that's right. I
He
forgot.
had a goal.
Yeah, he did.
Oh, I thought you were like, wait a minute. I literally just looked it up. Did I read it wrong?
Take that, Carey.
You told me you did.
I know, but I'm old.
See?
All right, so am I the only one to hit?
You are the. No, you're not. Anthony did hit. Anthony hit.
Anthony hit too?
Anthony did hit.
All right.
I didn't. No one told me till an hour before tip that Jokic and Murray weren't playing again. They lost by like 40. Damn ridiculous. The hell?
Listen, buddy, you got to do your own research.
They
okay?
don't tell you. They don't say anything. They sat out the night before. So why would they be sitting out again?
Load management.
Damn basketball players.
Yeah. All right, so what's the standings then, Marcia? Do
All
you
right,
have that?
so, yep, Anthony is now leading. He has 8 points.
Wow.
I have 7. Jamie, you have 6. Carey has 5.
Oh, wow. And Carey already burned his parlay, didn't he? What a
Nobody
donkey.
knows.
I
remembers
believe you
that.
did.
Nope,
believe you did.
I didn't. Nope, I still got it.
No, what? I thought you
Nah.
burned your parlay.
Nah, who
Yeah,
said
he's
that?
lying. He is
Who
lying.
said that? It's still there.
So, all right, so what's our plays then tonight? What does
All right,
Anthony got?
So Anthony has Mizzou Drake over 132 tonight. Over 132.5, I believe. So
All right.
What are you doing, Marshy?
I believe I'm going to go with tonight's Blues game. I'm going to go with Jordan Bennington over 21.5 saves.
I like that play. I like that a lot, Marshy. Well done.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Oh, I'm tipping on the wrong bill here. I'm trying to multitask here. You know, guys?
Yeah.
Let's see here. The Oilers play the Jets tonight. I'm going back to my guy, Connor McDavid, for a power play point. It's 0.5. I'm going to take the over on that.
I will take Steph Curry. Thank you, Marshy. 35.5 points, rebounds, and assists. Get back to my core beliefs.
Back to your roots.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hey, Marshy stealing my picks.
Well, I
Been
did a
down
few
here.
times.
Been downhill since then.
It has been a little
You
bit.
did miss 5 in a row.
I did. That was
Yeah.
after I
Oh,
tried.
wait, you did do your parlay. I'm looking right here. It says
I
parlay.
didn't.
Believe
What are we doing?
Carey.
Trying to get
He's always lying.
trying to get out of it.
No, he's hoping that you forgot.
What's going on
Marcia
here?
keeps track of everything, Carey. He's like an ex-girlfriend. They have receipts.
Doesn't forget anything.
Yeah, nothing. They're like an elephant.
Ah.
Remember that time? No, I
No,
don't.
I
That's
was
why it happened. I don't
Trying
remember.
to forget. Thank you.
So we get a question from the 314. Hey guys, tonight is undeniably one of the biggest games of the year for the Blues. Is there such a thing as over-preparing for a game?
Yeah, there is. I mean, if you heard Monty talk about it yesterday, he talked about it today. He said at morning skate, look, guys know what's at stake here. They've got good energy, but the Blues are not focused solely on tonight's game. Like tonight's feels, it's a big game. The guys
Right.
are going to be amped up, but it feels like just another game a bit for the Blues. And the reason being is because they've been so dialed in. They have been, on this mission or whatever to make the playoffs. So although it's a big game, the approach doesn't change. Like
Right.
if Monty went in the locker room and be like, okay, boys, this is a huge game. We're changing up this. We're going to work on this power play. We're going to target Quinn Hughes all game long because if he gets going, we're screwed. All of a sudden now you start to panic a little bit. You get stressed out as a team, and you're over focusing on things that you shouldn't. No, Monty's talking about, hey, if we play our game and we do what we're supposed to do and we play above the puck and do all these things, then we'll be successful. So again, it goes back to focusing on what you can do.
Right.
Yeah, I agree as well. I think that this is it. Everyone knows what this game means. It will probably feel like a playoff environment tonight down there in Enterprise Center, and I'm sure the players know. Like, you don't have to be told what this is.
Say a word,
You're
man.
excited, man. You're looking forward to this. You were ready to get the last game over with and get you a night's sleep. It's like Christmas. You got you a night's sleep, and now you're ready to roll. So I think the Blues are going to continue to play well. It's going to be fun.
All right. We've got the Gauntlet coming up next, so we need a contestant. Guys.
We do. We also got a text from the 314. Man sodas must already be flowing, boys. This is a blank show. No, we're just this crazy without man sodas.
This is straight up right now. Imagine if we added man sodas. Would we have the reverse effect then?
It might.
We'll be like so dialed in that we don't screw up at all.
That's interesting. You think we can find out?
That's usually what happens, right? Is when you add alcohol, you become
the
something
opposite
that you're not. Right?
Sometimes it enhances who you are.
No, I think you're onto something. Yeah.
It enhances it.
Because I become like an absolute goofball. Yeah, I do.
We are goofballs to start with. I've seen alcohol make a rabbit fight a bear before. Not a great idea.
It's not a great idea.
Not a great idea.
That rabbit definitely thought he had a chance.
But that rabbit at the start of the day didn't think, about fighting the bear. And all of a sudden he had a few too many whiskeys and then he was fighting a bear.
Now's the time.
Yeah.
It's never the time.
He's not that big. Yeah, he is. He really is. He's much tougher than you, too. So either way, anyways, right now we're straight up. If somebody would like to change that, come on down, buy us a drink. No, I'm just kidding. We got nice water here. The waitress has been fantastic.
By the way, McNeese State.
They're about 20. No, 19.
There's your 5-12 upset right 21. There, Carey.
Can't add it. It is.
45-24. That's incredible, by the way. Hey, Clemson. Did you even bother showing up?
Doesn't look like it.
Fire the coach right now on the spot at halftime. Fire him.
It's already past half.
Yeah, we'll fire him now.
He just hit a 3. There you go.
What if they walked down and fired him right on the side of the court? Get out.
That'd be terrible. I think that happened to Herm Edwards after they lost.
On the way up.
On the way out, he got to the goalpost. Like, Coach, let me talk to you for a second.
Coach, you got a minute?
No, I'm going to talk to my team.
No, you're not.
What other guys do it? Really?
In fact, empty out your locker.
Oh, my goodness.
That's terrible.
That is awful.
That's an off way to do it.
It is.
Gerard Gallant get fired in Carolina where he's on the loading dock ramp waiting for a cab. Like, come on, man.
You got to get out of here.
So bad.
The look is terrible. You want to have a first-class organization, and you're doing that stuff. By the way, real quick, I took this little snapshot. I think I sent it to the group yesterday. I'm not sure. But it had the let's check the group. It had the franchises ranked. The Athletic ranked the NHL franchises.
Oh yes.
And I thought this was pretty cool. And we never really got to it, but we'll get to it now. It says NHL ownership rankings conducted by a poll with the Athletic. Your St. Louis Blues were ranked number 5 in the entire NHL for organizations that are run properly and that have good ownership. That's pretty impressive, boys.
Pretty good. Pretty darn good.
Congrats to Tom Stillman, Donnie Lux, and the rest of the group that own the Blues. You guys are doing a great job, and that goes back to my point was good organizations, they don't fire people like that. They don't do things like that.
Right.
So, all right, we've got the Gauntlet coming up next, so please text in Gauntlet. We need a contestant. We'll get into that right here on 101 ESPN.
Fitzgerald's for our tournament tip-off party.
Refreshed by Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy.
4 warriors, 4 categories, 1 challenger. Can you survive the Gauntlet?
Brought to you by Blue Note Roofing. Roofing, siding, and gutters. Visit BlueNoteRoofingSTL.com for a free inspection.
Welcome back here to 101 ESPN. It's that time of day. It is time for the Gauntlet. We go out to our guy Sean, or STL Boy Dad. How we doing today, bud?
Good. How are you guys doing?
We're hanging in there, man. We're hanging in here, having some fun down at Helen Fitzgerald's. Good times, you know.
About time to crack one open, isn't it?
Well, I'd like to, but it's highly frowned upon while we're working. And I do like my job, even though sometimes Carey and I go at it. All right, Sean.
I got to get Jackson to change my name April 1st, that son of a gun.
Oh, yeah. Jackson.
Apparently Jackson's been ruining names.
He's a
messing
real
him
problem,
up lately.
that guy.
Wow.
We're gonna we'll report him to the higher ups, okay? For it, is that good for you, Sean?
Yes.
All right. So you've got the choice of Carey, myself, or Andrew Marsh today. Who's it gonna be?
CD, let's do it.
All right, CD, get the heck out of here.
All right, good luck, Sean.
I don't know where you're gonna go. Go sit over at those tables over there, and I'll just wave at you.
Sit next to someone and say hello.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I know what you're gonna do.
All right.
All right, Sean. Well, he's not headed to the cone of silence because it's not very quiet in here, although he almost took out the entire ESPN desk on his way. He's all mad about something.
Some would say Carey is built like a unit.
He is.
Refrigerator.
Looks like a cigarette machine walking through this place.
Must nervous.
All right. We got
Cigarette machine.
you never seen a cigarette machine? That's how young you are?
I guess
It's like
so.
a vending machine. You know, big, square.
Pack.
Yeah. All right. So, Bradford, you're going to spin the wheel back there. So, Sean, tell Bradford to spin the wheel.
Bradford, spin that wheel, buddy.
What are you hoping for, Sean?
Oh, it doesn't really matter. I got it 4 times, right?
You got that right. All right, Bradford, what do we got, buddy?
Well, gentlemen, today obviously you have the round of 64 kicking off, but a huge one at Enterprise shortly. We'll do that hockey.
Oh, wow, hockey. All right, so Bradford, I'm sure, as you know, take a picture of the question, send it to Marshy and I. And while we're doing that, Sean, I'll go over the rules with you here. I'm sure you know, but we'll go over them one more time just in case. Is each question, if you don't use the answers and answer correctly, is worth 2 points. If you do use the options and answer it correctly, then they're only worth 1 point. And if you're tied after 4 questions, we will have a tiebreaker, and we will have a winner here today in the Gauntlet. Sean, are you ready?
Never been readier.
All right, here we go. First question, category hockey. How many times have the Blues scored 7 goals in a game this season?
Oh, I can't shoot in the dark. Give me the options.
All right. Is it 3, 4, or 5?
This is absolutely random. Obviously, just the other night. Let's do 4. Final answer.
Thank you.
All right, question number 2. The most shots on goal the Blues have had in a game this season was 44. That game was the first game for Jim Montgomery as head coach of the St. Louis Blues, which came against which team?
I know this. Give me the options.
Your options are the New York Islanders, the New York Rangers, or the New Jersey Devils.
I feel like, dang, it's one. I knew it was Rangers. Rangers.
Final answer?
Final answer. Lock it in.
All right, question 3. How many different teams did Jim Montgomery play for in his NHL career as a player?
Options.
Is it 3, 4, or 5?
3.
Final answer?
Final answer.
All right, thank you.
Final question. After Jim Montgomery was let go in Boston, who took over for him as interim head coach of the Bruins?
Probably the assistant coach. Give me the options.
Options are Jim Hiller, Joe Sacco, or Scott Gordon.
What was the first one?
Jim Hiller was the first one.
Let's go with that one. Can I do Dave? Can I be like Dave and just final answer?
Jim Hiller, final answer?
Final answer.
All right, we'll get Kerry Davis back over here. Kerry. There we go. He just had to yell through here. No problem. Hey, Marshy, that's how we do it around here.
Yeah, you could, no one even knew.
No one knew. Yeah. So Kerry Davis coming back here right now.
Don't knock over the kid, Kerry.
Yeah, seriously, Kerry. How was it over there, buddy? You looked a little sad and lonely.
I was just chilling.
Nobody come say hi? Nothing?
Well, the waitress tried to bring me a menu. I said, oh, no, thank you. I'm over there with those two knuckleheads.
Yeah.
The guys with the headphones on.
All right.
She's like, oh,
I don't know.
they look strange
I
over
don't
there.
know if that's very nice. You say knuckleheads.
Oh, you great guys.
Oh, now we're doing that. All right. Well, Kerry, you better pack a lunch here today. Okay? Your category is hockey.
Okay.
Let's do that hockey.
Do that hockey.
All right, here we go. Question 1. How many times have the Blues scored 7 goals in a game this season?
Oh. I want to say 1 or 2. I know 1 for sure. Is it 1? They got 7 scored on them earlier in the season.
Let's not talk about that, okay, Kerry?
No, I was just I'm doing the math.
Thank you.
You said how many times have they scored 7 in a game?
Yes, correct.
This year?
Correct.
7.
Yeah, I've asked that.
Did they score 7 against the Blackhawks? Let's go. It's either 1 or 2. 2. Final answer. I think it's 1. I hate it.
Question number 2. The most shots on goal the Blues have had in a game this season was 44. That game was the first game for Jim Montgomery as head coach of the St. Louis Blues, which came against which team?
Oh, the most goals, most shots they have had.
The most shots they've had this season was
Okay.
44. It came in Jim Montgomery's first game
Oh, man. Who was
as the
that
Blues
against?
head coach. Who'd they play?
Give me the options.
Options
Please.
are the New York Islanders, the New York Rangers, or the New Jersey Devils.
Well, of course, it was East Coast. I think did they lose to the Islanders and that's when change happened? Let's go Rangers. Final answer.
All right, Kerry, question 3. How many different teams did Jim Montgomery play for in his NHL career?
Oh, I hate these. I hate them because the options don't help, man. 3, 4, 5, 4, 5, 6, 6, 7, 8. I don't know, man.
How many teams, Kerry?
Let's go 3. Final answer. Damn it.
Question number 4. After Jim Montgomery was let go in Boston, who took over for him as interim head coach of the Bruins?
Okay, give me the options.
Options are Jim Hiller, Joe Sacco, or Scott Gordon.
Oh, man. Hiller, Sacco, or Gordon, you say? Let's go Hiller. Final answer.
Okay, let's go over this. Question 1 was how many times have the Blues scored 7 goals in a game this season? Sean took the options, said 4.
Oh, that was an option?
Kerry, without the options, said 2. Answer is?
It is 3.
All right. Let's go to question 3 now. How many different teams did Jim Montgomery play for in his NHL career? Sean took the options, said 3. Kerry said 3. Answer is?
It is 5, gentlemen.
Marshy, score update, please.
0-2-0.
Yeah, thank you. Let's go to
Barn
question
burner.
4. After Jim Montgomery was let go in Boston, who took over for him as interim head coach of the Bruins? With the options, Sean said Jim Hiller. Carey with the options also said Jim Hiller. Marshy, answer is?
Well, of course it's not Jim Hiller. It's Joe Sacco.
Of course it is.
We have a barn burner here. 0-0. Final question. The most shots on goal the Blues have had in a game this season was 44. That game was the first game for Jim Montgomery as head coach of your St. Louis Blues. Which team did that come against? Sean, you said the New York Rangers.
He didn't need the options.
Carey, with the options, you said New York Rangers. Marshy, answer is?
It's the New York Rangers.
But you both needed the options. Yes.
Yes, Sean.
So here we go. We are tied at 1. I mean, my goodness. Here's how it's going to work, Sean. Here's how it's going to work, buddy, is we're going to ask a tiebreaker question. Do not say anything. Let Carey get his answer locked in first. Once Carey gets his answer locked in, we're going to need an answer from you immediately. Sound good, Sean?
Got it, guys.
All right, and again, closest to the pin will win here today. Marshall, get your calculator ready.
Well, I'm not the one with the button. That is Bradford.
Oh, yeah,
now.
Bradford. Well, Bradford probably smart enough to do this without a calculator. He totally doesn't belong on this show. Okay, here we go. Tiebreaker question to both of you. Again, Sean, stay quiet. Carey, you answer first. How many games has Colton Parayko played in his NHL career? Oh. Carey is thinking. He's writing. He's thinking more. He's writing more. Carey's trying to do quick math here. Okay, Carey, we have Carey's answer. Sean, what is your answer?
I'm going to say.
Sorry, what was that, Sean?
305.
All right. Well, we're not going to need a calculator for this one. Sean?
Bradford doesn't know my answer.
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, that's right. my bad. So, Carey wrote down 678. Sean?
You have chosen poorly.
You lose.
Yeah, buddy. The answer is 721. So, Carey, closer to the pin today, Sean. Sorry about that, buddy.
Sorry, guys. Thanks.
Good job, Sean.
All right, have a
Appreciate
great
it,
day,
Sean.
man. Appreciate you listening.
I don't know why. I thought he played 4 seasons.
That's all right.
It happens.
Maybe he's only played, because he's played 4 good seasons.
There
Is that
you go.
it? Yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's how we got there. Either way, Sean, thanks a lot for listening, buddy. Yeah, he's gone. He hung up. I'm done with you guys.
Yeah, he's
guys.
Yeah.
Good job, Carey. You know what, Marshy? Shut up. Tired of your crap,
All
okay?
right, Bradford needs the
There's
answer.
a lot going on here. People are buzzing around. They're walking into the cameras. They're asking for autographs in the middle of the show.
Shaking hands while we're live.
Shaking hands while we're live. Paying our tabs while we're talking. I mean, what do you want from me, okay? Damn kids these days, Carey.
Basketball games on.
Marshy, what do we got next? I'm tired of this crap.
All right. Well, speaking of hockey and the Blues, well, the Blues are in a playoff race right now. We have reasons for hope and reasons for concern for not only the Blues, but for some of the wild card hopefuls, Jamie.
All right, we'll get into that next here in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. right, it's the Fast Lane here on 101 ESPN. And Marshy, you had a nice thought here about the remaining teams in the wild card race, specifically in the Western Conference, where the Blues are in a bit of a dogfight. What was your thought here?
All right, so there is an article from The Athletic breaking down playoff chances for 9 teams in the NHL that are in the wild card hunt right now. And I wanted to focus specifically on the Blues and some of the teams that they're going up against. We'll start with the Blues since they're our team. And a reason for hope right here, the Athletic goes in and says that St. Louis has controlled nearly 53% of 5-on-5 expected goals, which ranks top 10 in the NHL since Montgomery's hiring in late November, compared to an ugly 45% share of expected goals under Drew Bannister, which was one of the worst in the NHL at the time. So that's one reason for hope. Another is that the top 6 forward group are firing on all cylinders, and the defense is significantly better with Justin Falk starting to play rejuvenated hockey, and also you have Philip Broberg and Cam Fowler. The last thing they mention is the Blues' favorable schedule. Of the 3, only 3 of the remaining 13 games are against an opponent that's top 10 in the league standings by points percentage. Over the next 5 games, they play Nashville twice and Chicago once. And there's an example of someone just...
Cindy.
Our girl Cindy just decided to crash the party.
So I don't know if you heard anything.
I heard everything, Marcia. I heard everything. I did. Those are interesting numbers because it is a Jekyll Hyde almost, where the Blues, under Drew Bannister, and look, let's be clear about something here. We're not throwing Drew Bannister under the bus. Drew Bannister did a really good job coming in last year out of nowhere to coach that team to as good as a result as he could. He earned himself the head coach job, but at the end of the day, he wasn't Jim Montgomery, which is what this team was focused on. But if we're gonna start focusing on the positives that have happened here, that this team has completely controlled exactly what they're doing. They've done a great job. The Blues are playing as good a hockey as anybody in the National Hockey League right now. In fact, they're playing better than most teams in the National Hockey League. So this is why I'm bullish on the Blues. Although the odds a couple of weeks ago were against them, I'm bullish on them making the playoffs, Kerry.
Yeah, I agree. I wanted to continue. The reasons for concern, it says, because some of those other teams, Calgary, Vancouver, Utah, all have games in hand. But the one thing that I've said, and we've said pretty much throughout the last couple of weeks, is if the Blues continue to play well and do their job, then everything else doesn't matter.
Right.
As long as they are playing, and once you're in front and you can stay in front and not play from behind, you're able to have better success. So they're not chasing anyone. They're not chasing their tails. They're not trying to catch up. They're actually right where they need to be, and they're being the one that is, hopefully, if they continue to win, they're the ones that'll be chased.
So let's look at the Canucks now. Obviously, the Blues taking on the Vancouver Canucks tonight. Reasons for hope for Vancouver. Quinn Hughes is returning to the lineup. He's missed the last 10 out of 13 games since February 1st. And, guys, ever since he's been back, the Canucks have won 3 of their last 4 games while averaging 4.25 goals scored per game. At some point tonight, either one of those trends, the Blues' goal suppression or the Canucks' goals scored in the last 4 games, one of those is going to, overtake the other one tonight.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's the Blues' goal suppression, though.
So Quinn Hughes is a problem. Let's just be honest here. He is the driving force for that Vancouver Canucks team, whether it's the zone exits / breakouts, the neutral zone transition, the offensive zone. He's a very shifty player. And Monty was talking about Quinn Hughes this morning. Everybody was talking about, just finish him, run him through the boards. He's a small guy. He's 2 steps ahead of most people.
Yeah,
it's hard.
He doesn't put himself in a compromised position very often. And then if you do try to run him, he'll get around you, and now you're chasing him back down the ice. Best way to play against a Quinn Hughes is just stay in front of him. Force him to go through you to get to the net.
Yeah.
Stick on puck, body on body, but controlled.
Right.
Not like out of control, like you're throwing everything at him, including the kitchen sink. You just keep yourself focused on the crest of the jersey, go through the body, but just kind of bump bump and run, but keep him like on the defensive side.
Right.
It's the best way to handle that because he is a driving force for that team.
He reminds me of Patrick Kane in the sense where when he was on the Blackhawks and the Blues would play them in the playoffs, I would sit there watching the game like, can someone put a body on this guy? Like, he's just weaving throughout the offensive zone, the Blues defensive zone, and no one's touched him. Like, can someone put a body on this guy? But, it's easier said than done, I guess.
Yeah, it is. And those guys, that's why they've survived so long.
Right.
Patrick Kane, still a dynamic player in the NHL. And very seldom do you ever see him get, run into the boards or knocked off his feet. Mm-hmm. He just doesn't put himself in that kind of a compromised position, and neither does Quinn Hughes. He leaves himself in a good spot, too. And Cale Makar is very similar that way.
Yep.
They're greasy is what they are, Carey.
You got to get in the greasy areas. That's what you say, Jamie? Playing that game.
Always helps.
It always helps.
So a reason for concern for Vancouver, that offensive outburst that I mentioned, positive sign, but Vancouver, since January 1st, the Canucks have been a bottom 5 team in goals scored per game. Their 5-on-5 offense shot generation ranks 31st in the NHL during that span. That's good for the Blues tonight. Philip Hedl is out with a concussion, and Connor Garland, who always plays good against the Blues, missed last game, which already hurts a thin top 6 for Vancouver.
Yeah, that Garland's a little pain in the butt. He's a guy that you just never get tired of hitting. He's got that face, too, that I just be like, I want to hit him again and again and again. But he's a heck of a player.
Yeah.
I mean, he does his job effectively, and he's always played well against the Blues going back to his Coyotes days and now with the Canucks. So they're going to have to make sure they keep an eye on him as well. But it's going to be this is a test, guys. It's a very big test. And we've talked about it at nauseum, and I think the only thing the Blues can do is just keep their heads down, keep working, and keep getting points.
Yeah, this team, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're fine.
Oh, this team has showed a different level of poise as well. Like, they have not, even in the games where you thought previously that this is a game that they should lose or this is a game that they're out of, they continue to keep their heads about them. They're not concerned about all of the other outside noise, outside factors. They just keep playing hockey and playing hard. And again, to me, it's just amazing to see because this is not what we expected from this team in the last couple of years. We didn't expect this. We hadn't seen this. And now all of a sudden they're like, who are these guys?
Yeah.
But they're playing at a
nice
level.
feeling, though, isn't it?
It is awesome, man.
Good.
I told you, for me, I watched the games. Obviously, this is part of our job. But I had not been out of my seat watching a game. And I found myself last few games, especially when Toro went coast to coast, I'm like, oh. I stood up. I'm like, oh, God, what the hell is he doing?
You know what? You're right. You're right. And tonight, it's weirdly enough, I would love to be working this game because these are the games with so much energy in the building.
Yeah.
So fun. But I'm also okay going home after this and putting my fan hat on.
And watching, yeah.
Watching that game. Carey, you know how it'll be set up. You've been to the house.
I have, yeah.
It's going to be set up there, and we got my daughter's coming over. Her son will be there, my youngest daughter. We're going to have fun watching this game.
It's going to be a good game.
So the last team here that we're really concerned about, or not really concerned, it just depends on what your level of confidence is in the Blues, are the Calgary Flames, who also have a pretty solid netminder in Dustin Wolf. One of their strengths and reasons for hope is that they play a structured game. They are a hardworking group that do not surrender many egregious grade A chances. Calgary special teams have been a strength lately. Its penalty kill ranks 5th best in the NHL since the Four Nations break, and the power play is about league average. So, Calgary's another one of those teams that you have to watch out for, but the Blues took care of business against them. They don't really, they don't play each other anymore, which I don't know if that, I actually wish they did.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
That would be nice.
I'd like to play all the teams we're fighting with right now.
Right. But that's just a team you just got to keep watching and seeing what they do from here on out. The problem for me is that they have 2 games in hand on the Blues, and they'll seemingly have that till the end of the season.
So here's my thoughts on that, though, Marshy, is we already know the Blues have a tough schedule the rest of the way. So many games in such a short amount of time. Imagine how many games the Flames have to play now in a short amount of time. If they have 2 games in hand on the Blues, yet the calendar is still the same day, that means the Flames are going to end up playing more games in a condensed amount of time, which we know teams can wear down. Injuries can happen. You can fall into a skid just as quickly as you can fall into a winning streak. So I don't look at the games played so much right now, but we'll see coming down the stretch how that impacts the Blues. Marshy, what do we got next?
Well, we have our Sports Six-Pack coming up next, so get your questions into the Air Comfort Service text line, 314-399-9646. We had Dale in Grubville send us a picture of a cigarette machine.
Yeah.
It looks very similar to Carey Davis's build,
Yep.
and I'm seeing that for the first time right now.
SpongeBob Square Body.
Whoa, a little flex.
Oh, did we get a flex?
We did.
Carey, careful, there's children in the building. Oh, my goodness. Wow. The woman just passed out in the corner after you did that,
Yeah,
Carey.
she'll be all right.
She's only human. Yeah. All right, we'll get into Sports Six-Pack coming up next here in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN.
The Cardinals.
Easy to drink, easy to enjoy.
I have a question.
It's time for the Fast Lane to answer your sports questions.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions. I want to have them answered immediately.
Asking me all these weird questions.
Answer the question.
Answer the question.
Answer me!
The Sports Six-Pack is now.
Welcome back here to the Fast Lane, 101 ESPN. It is time for the Sports Six-Pack. Bradford, hit it.
Question number 1.
All right, gentlemen, from the 636, what is the most ruthless thing you can say as a fan to an opposing player that would actually affect their game?
Oh, wow, I've said some horrible things to people.
As a fan?
Oh, as a fan. Oh, okay, yeah.
Like, hey, you should be wearing our jersey tonight.
Yeah, that has happened to me. Did I tell you that story, Carey?
No.
The fan in L.A., this guy's legendary.
I think you did, Tim.
Hey, Rivers, you should be wearing a Kings jersey. You're our best player tonight. I stabbed him. Anyways, as a fan, I don't know if anything. Like, the internet is wonderful, so you can go digging for sure on guys.
Yeah.
I think that if I was a fan, and if I could go digging around on one of these players' Instagrams or whatever, I think I would say something. This is horrible, so nobody judge me right now. Okay? Listening right now, don't drive off the road. It's not going to be that bad. I would just say, hey, like you play in the NFL or whatever. You make all that money, and my God, your girlfriend is terrible looking. Like something like I'd say it way more graphic, obviously.
Yeah.
Something like that. But you go right after their manhood that way. Like you can't do better than that with all the money you make. I saw your Instagram. Woof.
But like you're saying that she could actually be like very beautiful.
Yes.
But it doesn't matter that you're just trying to get in his head.
You're in his head. You're like, because we all not all of us, but we're attracted to certain people.
Right.
And when we love people, it's like, we see the beauty in them and all this stuff, right? But if somebody walked up to you, Carey, no matter how gorgeous your girlfriend is, and said, "Oh my God, were you hammered when you started dating her?" Like something like that.
You'd want to hit him in the face.
You'd be like, "Screw you," right? So I think the more you can go after their manhood like that, because saying you suck or bad pass, whatever, you got to attack them where it hurts, Carey.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard some. I can't even remember what the people in the great city of Philadelphia said. It was bad. I blocked it out. It was.
Imagine though if they had all the access to Instagram, and all that stuff.
Yeah. It was tough. I remember. I think his name was Sean Phillips. It was a player. Worst thing I ever heard on the field, and this is in the early 2000s. Yeah, we're in the Big Ten. We're playing Purdue, and we stink that my senior year. We're 1-11. We ended up 1-11. And he said something to the extent of, "You guys suck, man. You guys are terrible. You belong in the MAC."
Anthony. It's a good thing Stalter isn't here.
I really wanted to fight. I really wanted to fight.
Yeah.
Because that was the most disrespectful thing. This is
especially in the Big Ten.
MAC. We were bad though, and we might not have beaten the MAC team that year. Had we played this.
So it stings because it's true.
It was so true.
Yeah.
If it's true, then it does sting a little bit more. But
you did okay.
Sometimes these fans get a little out of hand, so
they do.
I would say don't be too ruthless because you might get a malice in the palace.
You never know. Marcia, what would you say? You're a fan. You must have said some horrible things to people.
No, I've never said anything to a player. Now I did when I was at school. We had
the student section.
We had the student section,
yes.
and we had a specific person every single game who sat right next to the opposing team's penalty box, and there was just enough space to where you could slip your mouth right in there and talk your you-know-what. And this kid had, and by the way, it was a thing that you would have, there was one designated person, and then once that person graduated, he would then pass it to the next person.
Okay.
But this,
I'll
call it a position.
Yeah.
This
There was
position.
a succession.
There was a succession there.
Okay.
10 pages worth of information on
Really?
the other team. Oh, yeah.
Wow.
10 pages. Everything from that this person could find on their Instagram, Facebook, Twitter.
That's some dedication.
Anything. Just total information on 10 pages worth of notes. And if you're in the penalty box, you're hearing it. You're hearing it. And one time I believe that we had one guy actually get irritated at the kid who was chirping at him and decided to do something about it or whatever, and then got out of the box and was all riled up and took another penalty and went straight back into the box, and the entire student section went nuts. Yeah, no,
that's awesome.
It reminds me of speaking of Vancouver Canucks, we're playing them tonight. The Green guys, remember the Green men?
They were good. I remember I was playing somewhere. I forget. It was in the minors, and same situation. There was a little 3 or 4 inch gap between the glass and the other glass, and the fan was trying to give it to me the whole time. And I was fine with it.
I just saw it.
I was fine with it, but then I acted like I couldn't hear him, so I leaned in with my ear, and he leaned in, and I had the water bottle, the lid off of it, and I was right in that spot, almost, it was drowning him. It was awesome. I was like, what's that? I said, I can't hear you. I can't hear you now. All right, Bradford, question 2, please.
Question number 2.
All right, so we get a question from the 314. Did moving Contreras to first block Burleson, which in turn blocked Gorman at DH, which then blocked playing Donovan at second, which now forces Victor Scott II off the roster because Newt has to play center to make it all work? All this for Pages.
No.
Also, is Walker actually the one that should be out of a spot on the opening day roster, not Victor Scott?
Well, I think he will be out of a spot, right? He's not back. Is he due back?
No, he played.
No, he's played.
Walker's playing?
Yeah,
he
he
played.
was good.
That's pretty bad that I haven't heard about it.
Yeah.
He's been out of town.
Yeah, right.
It's
yeah.
true.
No, I think Nolan Arenado caused all of this chaos because you could have still moved Wilson Contreras to first base, and if Nolan Arenado is not on the roster, then Nolan Gorman is your third baseman, which means that Donovan is your second baseman, and Burley is your DH. So if you can do that, if you got rid of Nolan Arenado and you were able to move on from his contract and trade him this offseason, I think all things would have been corrected, and you still would have been able to have Wilson Contreras playing first base. This game is getting crazy down here.
If you hear all that noise in the background, was it McNeese?
Yeah, McNeese.
McNeese is up 67-59.
I have a question if we want to go to question number 3 here.
Yeah, question number 3, please, Bradford.
Question number 3.
If you were a Cinderella team, not a Cinderella team, an underdog, right, and you go into the tournament, would you rather get blown out in the tournament or take a sizable lead and then blow your lead in the second half?
I want to win. I want to have a lead. I want to be in the moment where at least if I lost, we put up a good fight.
Yeah,
I don't want to get blown out from. There's no fun. Like the story you tell. If McNeese comes back, if McNeese loses this game, and they've been leading,
that'd be bad. There's 20 seconds,
and they've been leading the entire game, that would be heartbreaking. But that story is much better than losing by 40 points in the first round and people saying you didn't even deserve to be there. So
right,
yeah. But McNeese should win this. I mean, they just need to hold the ball and hit their free throws.
All right, we will continue the Sports Six-Pack when we return. Again, we are here at Helen Fitzgerald's enjoying all of the basketball, food, and festivities. Come on by, say hello. You're going to have a blast. Sports Six-Pack continues next here on 101 ESPN.
College basketball.
Easy to drink, easy to enjoy.
I have a question.
It's time for the Fast Lane to answer your sports questions.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions. I want to have them answered immediately.
Asking me all these weird questions.
Answer the question.
Answer the question.
Answer me!
The Sports Six-Pack is now.
Now we are back here, 101 ESPN. It's the Fast Lane. Bradford Sports Six-Pack. Hit us with the next one.
Question number 4.
All right, gentlemen, I did see from the 618 a question involving our St. Louis Cardinals. Do you foresee any moves for the St. Louis Cardinals before the start of the season? That's from the Frito Man.
Any moves?
Any moves?
No, I mean, apart from maybe Victor Scott being optioned down to Memphis, I can't see another move. Carey?
Like outside of the
Like a
organization?
trade?
No.
Like a trade, yeah.
Can't imagine unless somebody gets hurt, but even then.
You got what you got.
Yeah.
I don't see a move
You
happening.
get what you get.
You don't have a
and
fit.
You don't have a fit.
Marshall, what do you think?
No, I don't. I think this is the team that they're. This is the team that they want to go to Lake Placid with. No, no, this is the team. Like, it is what it is.
Yeah.
And we're going to have to like it or not, and which I think a lot of people don't. But we'll see how they do.
All right, Bradford, next question, please.
Question number 5.
From the 816, Jamie, how is it determined who the extra skater is when the goalie is pulled or there is a delayed penalty?
Coach will sometimes scream it out, or it's the next centerman up type thing. You try not to have a confusion, so you end up with too many men on the ice. But usually the coach will yell it, like let's say hypothetically that the Shen line is on the ice with Carew and Holloway. The goalie comes, the Thomas, go! Like Robert Thomas over the boards, you become the extra skater on the ice. And then if the coach doesn't say anything, it's usually predetermined by the coach that the next centerman up would become, the next guy on the ice. But it's usually depends on it's usually one of your top 2 line guys. Like you're not very often going to end up with, Oscar Sundquist or Radek Faksa hopping over the boards. It will be Braden Shen, Robert Thomas, Carew, Booch, Navy, somebody usually in that group.
How about Nathan Walker on the power play the other night?
Yeah, you know what? So this is the thing. Well, you laugh, and I get it because he hasn't played the power play.
Well, no, I'm just saying because there were
all.
so many. There are the penalties and there, the line matchups and stuff. But like that would be an example of somebody getting called up. Hey, Walks, you're on the power play now.
Yeah, and what people need to realize is if you go back and look at Nathan Walker's stats in the American Hockey League, he was a power play guy. He was a point getter.
Yeah.
He's a skilled player at the American Hockey League level. Doesn't mean he can't do it in the NHL. It's just that he's not needed to do it in the NHL. And what he's needed to do is exactly what he currently does, which is run into everything that moves, create a good energy and sacrifice of himself for the team. And he has identified that role for himself, and Jim Montgomery and the staff love him as a player.
I think people would be surprised at how talented players are and the role you have to find yourself in order to stay at a certain level is you got to get in where you fit in. I forget who I was watching. I was watching something the other day. It was a basketball player. He was like, hey, man, it's only going to be 2 guys on this team, on every team. They got the green light to shoot whenever they want to. Everybody else got to do some dirty work.
You better do your job.
You better be able to dribble. You better be able to assist, to rebound, to play defense. It's the same way in football. It's the same way in hockey.
Yep.
You got guys that were great goal scorers, and then all of a sudden, hey, you're not the guy that we want shooting all the time.
You're not going to do that.
It's that guy over there. That's why he's getting paid a lot of money. You got to figure out what else you got to do. So that's kind of what when you talk about Nathan Walker, guys have to transition their game. You had to do that. You had to transition your game to stay in the league because that's not what that team needs.
It was not required to do other things.
It doesn't mean you didn't want to.
Yeah, it doesn't mean I didn't want to. It just was not required of me, Carey. Next question, please.
Question number 6.
From the 314, if the Cardinals had a better owner and in a better market like L.A. and New York, won't they be better?
Wait, what? Are you saying if the Cardinals were the Dodgers, they'd be better?
Correct.
Okay. Is that?
Well,
are we saying that the Cardinals have Ohtani, Mookie Betts?
I think they're saying
Freddie Freeman.
I don't think the market has anything. I think it's the money that's spent. Like I think if the ownership spent the money, you can be.
I think
the
market,
Cubs and spend money if you chose to. If you felt like, I don't think I don't know that the market matters.
Well, I think the market does matter based on like the money coming in. Like
Okay.
the Dodgers are making a ton more money than the Cardinals are.
But the Cubs could also. Well, maybe the
Now,
Cubs
the
could
Cubs,
be a team. Yeah.
The Cubs are a team where it's like, okay, they are in a bigger market
Right.
than St. Louis, but they're also like not spending the amount of money that
Right.
their fans want them to spend. Even though they got Kyle Tucker, they traded for him, but like they're still not pumping, out money they're shelling out money to players,
Right.
and their fans are frustrated about that. So
Yeah,
I think it's a little bit of both.
And here's something interesting. I was listening to a Major League Baseball insider person talking about revenues throughout the league and things like that. And they brought up something that I had touched on a little bit before the Shohei Ohtani sweepstakes was over. When people were saying, oh, should the Cardinals try to get Ohtani, all this stuff? Oh, my God, look at the money they're going to spend. But the revenues right now that the Dodgers are pulling in from Japan, from overseas, they have a TV deal with a Japanese television network because they televise almost every single game. Can you imagine that?
Well, like some of the biggest players to play in that country are on the Dodgers right now.
Well, that's what I was going to say,
exactly.
too.
So,
You can do that if you got those guys on your team. They want to watch.
What I'm saying is if you empty the bucket because you spent all that money on Ohtani,
You're
you're
gonna
also
get it.
filling
There
it
you
back
go.
up
Yep.
every year. Now, I'm not saying it's going to be dollar in or dollar out, dollar in.
Right.
But you add in jersey sales, you add in whatever else it is, and it's not just over in Japan. It's internationally.
Yeah.
It's kids in Canada that love Shohei Ohtani. Kids in Florida State love, or the state of Florida love Ohtani. So the Dodgers end up pulling in extra revenues because they have a lot of these great players.
Yeah.
I mean, it's costing them an arm and a leg to field the team.
Well, it's not costing them now. They're deferring it.
But you're right. It's deferred until they're 112 years old. Ohtani's kids will have paychecks coming in.
Yeah, probably.
He's got to be like one of the biggest, if not the biggest, international superstar in the world, right? Like you could say, because we had that conversation a few weeks ago about who's the biggest guy.
I think it's still LeBron.
I think it's still
but like,
LeBron.
not from the United States, though.
Not from the United States. Oh, yeah.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah.
But then you got to think of Ronaldo.
Yeah.
Messi. Like
Okay,
those guys
yeah.
are massive,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah,
We don't think about it because we don't really watch the soccer.
Well,
let
yeah,
alone
because we think that the world revolves around the United States.
Yeah, we're very self-centered.
Why would you say something like that?
Yeah. So I just don't think you can overlook that, and you can't overlook some of the, the quarterbacks in the CFL. Carey, you know how big those guys are out there.
Yeah, clearly.
Well, where do you think like
Warren
Luka?
Moon.
he was good.
Where do you think Luka and like Jokic rank
yeah.
in terms of their star power internationally?
That's a good
You think
question.
it's better
in comparison to
Ohtani?
I don't think it's better than Ohtani. Thank you. I don't think that CD. Yep. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
We got people stopping us. I don't know that he knew we were on the air.
We're talking on the microphone. You don't
Sorry,
care.
y'all.
You know what? Good for him.
Yeah.
He come by, say he listens every day. Now he's
Appreciate
got
it. Yeah.
put the faces to the name.
So no, I don't think Luka and Jokic are more popular than Shohei.
Yeah.
I don't think they are. I think
those guys are huge.
I think Shohei is the most of that group. I think he's more popular.
I think they're both huge, though.
I agree. Yep.
I
agree.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just like. I think there's just some people that just don't have like they just don't recognize things. There's no.
Awareness.
The yes.
Situational awareness.
Situational awareness. I think that could be one of the things that a lot of people lack.
Well, like our little visitor here.
Or like 10 of them.
Oh,
you know people walking in front of the camera.
You know what? They've had maybe a couple of wobbly pops today during the day. We have encouraged people. Now, in fairness, Andrew, I have said, come on down and say hi.
That is true.
I didn't say don't say hi if we're on the air. I just said, come on down and say hi.
Yeah.
So you know what? I hold myself personally responsible.
It's your fault.
For
I'm proud
any
of you.
distractions. However, there have been a couple of other distractions as well. It's been a fantastic day.
I agree.
Yes.
I'm with you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. We've got the keys to the game and Light the Lamp.
Who's winning?
Coming up next here on 101 ESPN. It's a fast lane here on 101 ESPN. It's time for keys to the game, gentlemen. I want to switch it up here a little bit, okay? Because I respect your guys' opinions, and this is a big game tonight. So I think what we all do is give one key each. What do you think?
You want to go first, Marshy?
Marshy?
You want me to go first? Oh, wow, okay. My key to tonight's game is – oh, geez, you're putting me on the spot here.
All right, Kerry, go ahead.
Let's say, just keep playing sound defense. Keep back-checking, forechecking, doing those things that you need to do, and let your goalie do what he does. Like, that'll be my second key. My first key is always start the game off in a good pace. Get going early.
Okay.
So I gave you 2.
Give me as many as you want, Kerry.
All right. I'll let Marshy take it.
All right.
I would say key in on Hughes and limit Vancouver's biggest threat. Like, let the other guys beat you if they're going to. Like, he's a guy that can take over a game, and I think their power play can do damage if they get a chance. So for me, it's to do that. But, like, bottom line, this team needs to just keep doing everything that they've been doing, and I think they'll win this game. Like, I think it is as simple as that, just to keep playing the way that you've been playing, blocking shots, creating offense through your defense, and just playing a sound, structured game. And I think Jordan Binnington needs to have the type of game that we're accustomed to him doing. And this can't be a Pittsburgh Penguins type game. It really can't.
I agree. So you guys, those are good keys. Very well put. I'm with you, Kerry. I think the start of the game is going to be big for the Blues. You know, it's not the end-all, be-all, but we know the crowd tonight is going to be, it's going to be electric in there. And what a shame if you can't get the lead early and get that place buzzing. You know, big goal, big hit, big fight, something early in that game.
Feed off the energy.
Get everybody going. Get Vancouver kind of, back on their heels a little bit. And then, look, the Vancouver Canucks do a really good job of checking. They do. They take away the middle of the ice extremely well. They play a very similar style of game that the Blues play, especially when they're successful. So you got to own the middle of the ice, and for me, you have to own the net fronts. You're going to have to get to that net on the offense, cause some chaos. They've got some big guys on defense that box out pretty darn well. And at the same token, they're going to try and get to the net on you. And I think playing physical. Play physical. They've got Kiefer Sherwood, who I think he leads the league in hits this year. He's going to be running around like a fool. If Garland's in the lineup, he's running around. If he's not, they do have other guys that will do the same thing. So your home building, make sure that you're playing physical. Just keep doing what you've been doing. I agree with you, Kerry. Blocking shots, sacrificing to win, all of that stuff.
Yeah,
I think to stay out of the penalty box.
Yes.
Don't give them any added opportunity. Thanks to you, sir. Good to see you. Don't give them any added opportunity to create extra offense at that point. All right, it is time for Light the Lamp. Bradford, do you have that queued up?
A couple of guys can really shoot the puck.
Shoot! I must confess you scored first.
Well, who is the first person?
Breakaway! Shoot! Score!
We got hockey to learn.
All right, Marshy, we are playing Light the Lamp. Can you give us a little update?
So nothing changed from the last time we played. Unfortunately, none of our players scored. Carey, you still have 20 points. I have 15. Jamie, you have 11. And Anthony has 10.
All right, Carey Davis.
Yeah, I've been thinking about this. I've been going with Balduke last couple of games. Give me Dylan Holloway.
Oh, you piece of...
Great man. Thank you.
Yep.
Take the words right
Just
out of your
what I
mouth.
was thinking. Just what I was thinking, buddy.
I'm going to go with Robert the Thomas.
All right.
Wow. All right. This, to me, feels like it's another good night for Jake Neighbors. I think that, we just talked about the net front battles and earning your real estate and playing that physical brand of hockey. I think Jake Neighbors finds the back of the net here tonight for the Blues.
Stalter's going to go with Jordan Kyrou tonight.
That's a shocker.
That's a shocker.
That's a real. She's going back to the well, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess Nathan Walker didn't really work out for him last time.
It's kind of strange.
He did get power play time.
He did get power play time.
Good chance. There was a chance.
All right, so guys, what are you wanting to see specifically tonight here from the Blues?
I want to see a win.
Yeah.
I don't
Does it
really,
have to be a win?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it has to.
Yeah, I'm greedy. So I'm like,
Well, you need
I'm
to
like
get points.
Curbs.
You have to get points.
Yeah, I win. Get 2.
Okay.
Yes.
I don't want 1. Why would I want 1 when I can have 2?
No, I'm saying
I totally agree with that.
bare minimum, you have to get a
Heck,
point.
give me 3.
If
it was possible.
If it was possible.
Of course.
Right.
Yes.
But yeah, they win the game. Win the game for me, because I think it's too close of a race to be messing around.
So the ribbon for good work's not going to.
Nah, they ain't gonna do it for me. I don't want a ribbon.
No.
I want the trophy.
Okay.
Because I earned it. Because I won it. Yeah.
That is what it is, bottom line. You got to win tonight. There's a reason why we talked about this being the biggest game of the year. We got a question from the 636. Tonight is the biggest game in St. Louis since when?
Oh, wow. Well, let me see here.
In any sport?
Yeah, I was trying to think. So,
well, let's do Blues, and then we'll do any sport.
For the Blues, it's probably the biggest game for the Blues since, well, they had that good year.
What about regular season?
Okay.
I was going to say maybe that game where Jordan Binnington got hurt against the Avalanche. I mean, that was a huge game.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, that was a big game.
That was a big game, and you could feel the momentum kind of shifting to the Blues a little bit there. For the Cardinals, if we're doing that kind of stuff, I don't know.
You got to be since the
Phillies.
Phillies game.
The Phillies game.
Albert and Yachty's last game.
Yeah, I would agree with
there
that.
was nothing in 23 that made you need to tune. I mean, you could watch Waino try to get the record he was chasing.
Yeah.
Hey,
Was
somebody
it innings pitched?
Somebody got him going in the right direction that night. That's all I have to say.
Overall, I think it's got to be the Battlehawks, right? Battlehawks semifinal game. Winner goes to the
final
championship.
One that they lost to the San Antonio Brahamas.
Yep. That's probably the biggest game in St. Louis.
The
last
what
one.
about St. Louis City?
Yeah, but last year they.
But yeah, you said since how long?
In 23.
Well, since last summer.
Oh, yeah.
That was when the semifinal was.
The Battlehawks are the only team that has played an important game in the last 2 years.
Yeah, I agree.
Or most recent one, because City FC was not anywhere near it last year.
No, but before that they played
the one playoff game.
Sporting KC
and lost.
They got lost.
But that was a big game.
Yeah.
So, so it's got to be the Battlehawks. Our guy Anthony Becht, the Battlehawks, on the top of the leaderboard.
Hey, maybe the Blues can change that. Maybe they can be the next team to be in the playoffs. I hope so.
Who do you think's a difference maker tonight for the Blues? Like, let's just say they win.
Not a norm.
Okay, so let's take
Binnington
the
off.
top 3 scorers and Binnington.
Okay.
So let's take Kyrou, Thomas, and Holloway out of the equation, and Jordan Binnington. Who is like the unsung hero tonight for the Blues?
I have a different type of answer. I'm going to go with Jim Montgomery.
What? He can't play.
Not anymore.
No, but what he can do is he can match lines. They have the last change. He gets the right people out there at the right time. And that was one of the big things that Craig Berube did when he was here, was matching up lines. And the Blues went and won the Stanley Cup.
Who do you think starts the game for the Blues?
The fourth line.
Yeah, the Foxa line.
They have the last X amount. I don't know.
Kind of a pattern, right?
Yeah.
I was going to say Sonny.
Kerry, you don't like his answer.
I didn't like his answer at all.
Okay.
I would prefer it be somebody that has some skates on.
Somebody that can actually participate?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll let you rule on it, though.
How
you
about
say
the
it's
ref
okay.
then? No?
That was spite.
That was total spite.
This past weekend, I was texting our group chat. I was mad. Those refs in Minnesota were terrible.
Well, they've had a string of
they were
bad
horrible.
refereeing here. They're making up calls now, which they're phantom calls that aren't even there. So go ahead, Kerry. Who'd you say?
I said Sonny.
Okay.
Make something happen. An assist and a goal.
Well, I can see that because Sonny plays on that third line, so he's going to get a lot of time out there against some of the pretty good players for Vancouver, and he also plays on the power play in front of the net.
There you go.
So maybe he's going to get a big goal.
There you go.
Okay, I got an actual player this time.
Oh, now he wants another pick. He's got more than one pick, this guy.
I'll pick a player. You guys
trade for another pick?
No, you guys seem to not like my answer. I'll go with Matthew Joseph, also part of that third line.
Oh, wow.
His speed.
I like
the
that.
Blues, they've created some shorthanded opportunities in the past few games. I think they get a really good one tonight. Not saying they score shorthanded, but I think they get an opportunity, and maybe they do score shorthanded, but I've liked the penalty kill as of late.
Oh,
All right.
Mojo.
Can I go with Cam Fowler, or is that too obvious?
No, he's not one.
Because he is a number one defenseman. Is it too obvious?
You can go with Cam Fowler.
Marshall, you don't like it.
I mean, I love Cam Fowler. I think he's a great player. I think he's too obvious because I think he's too key of a player for the defense.
Him and Broberg are off?
Yeah, I think the top 4 defensemen are off.
Okay. All right.
Okay, then I'm going to go with Nathan Walker tonight.
Ooh. Yeah.
I think Nathan Walker has a game where he has 8 or 9 hits, and I think somehow the fourth line finds a way to get a goal. Somehow, some way, they get on the scoreboard, and my guy Nathan Walker is going to have something to do with it. So Nathan Walker would be my unsung hero for this game. Well, we're wrapping it up. We got one more segment to do here. We're down at Helen Fitzgerald's. Come on down. Say hi when we're not on the air, of course. I put that disclaimer in there, of course.
About time.
And following us here, we do get off early at 5:30. Alex Ferrario and the crew will have the pregame starting then. Then puck drop an hour later at 6:30. When we come back, what we learned today, criticisms, compliments, and whatever else comes to our mind, right here on 101 ESPN.
This is Ryan Suter, and it's
live from Helen Fitzgerald's for our tournament tip-off party.
Refreshed by Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy.
All right, we are back here for our last segment of the day. It is the Fast Lane here on 101 ESPN. We have enjoyed an incredible day here at Helen Fitzgerald's, watching basketball, talking to the staff, hanging out, great food, great energy in the building here. So thank you very much to Helen Fitzgerald's. Tomorrow, our broadcast will be at Cybers off of Dorset Road. So we'll be doing a lot of the same stuff. We're going to get over there, have some fun at their restaurant, eat their food, drink their water, and watch basketball.
Yes, indeed.
It's going to be a good time, Carey.
Yep.
Good time is had by all, that's for sure. All right, guys, it is time for what we learned here today.
I learned that situational awareness does not only apply to coaches in sports. Like, situational awareness is a vital thing that people need just in day-to-day life.
Yes.
You need to know your surroundings and where the hell you're walking.
Any in particular examples?
Just some things that I've seen today.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Nothing particular.
Marshy.
Yes, I learned that the more brackets that you have for March Madness, the less basketball you know, or so the text line says.
Wow.
Which means that my basketball prowess is pretty good because I only have 2.
All right. Bradford, back in the studio. Is there anything you learned today?
I learned never a gentleman to bet on the likes of High Point to take down a team that was crazy good in last year's tournament. But I am going to give myself a little bit of dab because your boy did pick McNeese correctly.
Yeah. Oh, well done.
Bradford,
well done.
I also picked High Point, so maybe I don't know anything.
There you go.
I picked McNeese on one of my brackets.
All right. Well, what I learned today is that unless you're very specific in what you tell people, they may not understand you. Like if you tell people we're at Helen Fitzgerald's, come on down, say hi, and you don't specify that maybe you might be on the air to wait till a commercial break, people just do what they want because I told them
They
that.
did.
So I learned today to be more specific in what I tell people.
Good for you, Jamie.
All right, it is time for criticisms and compliments. Marshy, what
Yes.
you got here?
From the 573, compliment for the Fast Lane. Love this show. Listen daily for Blues content. I used to listen and chat about show topics with my dad before he passed away unexpectedly last May. You guys bring laughter and fun through your show often. I've attempted the Gauntlet twice and look forward to again in the future. Thank you to you all for the show, the insights, sports content, and laughter on a daily basis. That is from Donnie Bank Tank.
Donnie, thank you for listening every day and being a part of the Fast Lane. Again, we're sorry for the passing of your father. I know it's been a year now, but that never, ever seems to go away. So sorry about that. And we love that we're a part of your life, man. We do. We really take pride in getting you home from work, talking throughout the day, making your day go by quicker, and hopefully we give you some good information and lots of laughs.
Indeed.
We get a message in the snake pit from G-Dog saying that they need, as in us, a men at work sign on their remote.
We should have a little sign that says.
Well, you make signs all the time.
I do.
Parking passes.
Flashing sign.
VIP parking most of the time.
Did you use that today, by
No,
the way?
I actually got great parking. I pulled up, got a spot about 3 feet from the front door. It was fantastic. But yeah, we should have a little like meeting in progress, recording in progress. Like what would the sign say?
On air.
Yeah, on air.
Okay, that's a good one. Whoever came up with that one. Doty, thank you.
Yeah, that's Doty.
Doty in the bleachers behind us. Well done, Doty.
Voice coming down from
wearing his Rams
Polo.
t-shirt. No wonder we talked to him today.
He did say he had a Cardinals shirt under it, though.
There
He
you
did.
go.
Okay, so he totally redeemed himself. All right,
Yes.
what else we got, Marshy?
All right, let's take a look. It looks like Tanisha's going bowling tonight, so good luck to that. How's your bowling game, gentlemen?
I haven't bowled in a while. I will say this, that I almost bowled a perfect game in 2001.
Really?
I was playing for the Boston Bruins. We had a team outing. So there's actually Bill Guerin and guys can back up this story. 8 frames in a row.
Really?
And then I got to the 9th frame and just mucked it up.
The pressure got to
Yeah,
you?
I didn't even get all the pins. Like, I didn't pick up a spare. I didn't get all the pins.
pressure.
Yeah, I
Pressure.
crumbled like a cheap cookie. It was brutal. But I'm not a bowler by trade. I just, I used to love to play it, but I haven't played it forever.
I like to bowl, but both of my elbows are like shot up. They are shattered.
Yeah.
So bowling puts like
So
a
the balls are
strain.
too heavy for you?
Yeah, they are. I
You like to
can't
play with the little balls?
I can't use my fingers won't fit in the smaller
the
balls.
little balls. You can hold them in your hand.
I don't want those.
What do they call that? Candlestick bowling?
I have no idea.
You know what I'm talking about. You've seen that,
I
right?
don't want that.
They're not the great big balls. There's the little ones. You
I
can
don't
fit in
want
one
the little
hand.
balls. I want the big balls.
Okay.
And roll them down there. But my elbows, because I need surgery on both my elbows, it hurts.
Yeah.
So I don't do it.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, then so much for our bowling outing.
I'll watch.
Will you
I'll
keep
see you guys
score?
on- Yeah, I'll watch.
Remember when you used to have to keep score like on a piece of paper?
Yeah.
That was a
Terrible.
disaster. Just a disaster.
Terrible.
Thank goodness for technology on that
Indeed.
one.
All right, 3 stars of the day, gentlemen. Our 3rd star of the day is going to go out to Carey's fingers.
Yeah, Carey.
Yes.
Yes.
Magic fingers.
Magic fingers,
Yep.
yes.
2nd star of the day goes out to cigarette vending machines.
And once again, Carey Davis.
There's a time to be alive.
Yes.
And 1st star of the day goes out to all those that were here at Helen Fitzgerald's, the people that helped us out as well with this awesome food that we ate, the great water that we drank.
Great
So,
stuff.
Great time.
Yes.
Great time.
Unbelievable time. Again, thank you to Helen Fitzgerald for the hospitality. Started out with BK and Ferrario, and we'll have the same thing going tomorrow at Cyberg's, located on Dorset Road. It's been a great day, guys. Lots of basketball. It's always fun to watch these games. Tonight's going to be a massive game with your St. Louis Blues, and that's coming up next. Right now, Alex Ferrario with the pregame show, followed by Puck Drop at 6:30. Thanks for listening. ESPN 101, The Fast Lane.
The Bracket.